Join us for the season finale of the LARP Lounge as we present An Evening with the Gyaradeskies. No promises Aerostar is going to make it out alive.
Hello everybody, welcome to Season 1, Episode 9 of the LARP Lounge. Today we are going to be making, those are my bits falling into my cup. I don't know why it took so long, but Lone Star is now hosting. Well, thank you for the hosty, Dan.
I will dance for myself.
So, let's get into it. So here we have two guests today. They're both going to be making their very first Mythic Realms LARP characters, specifically Mythic Realms, because one of them does have a character in Alliance, right?
Alliance and Nero.
Oh, nice. So, our first guest is
Lone Star. Nice to meet y'all. I've been on most of the streams as a viewer. Been friends with Aerostar, just here supporting and making a character, and if I can find the time in my busy schedule, hopefully maybe try and catch a weekend or something this coming year.
And most importantly, he's the bit boss.
I am the bit boss. I will forever be the bit boss. We'll see that.
And then our second guest.
I'm Kai. I will be making my first character. I played Wednesday, so I have a little bit of mythic experience, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's trying to get me made sheriff.
He's going to become sheriff, and he's going to make necromancy legal again. He just
that's
doesn't know yet.
That's way above my pay grade.
That's right. Even if I have to start somewhere.
Even if I become sheriff, that's way.
I mean,
Who says you'll know you're doing it?
Lita is with you on that as long as we do it legally.
Oh, Lita's the one that's going to take it to the king.
Well, I fought alongside the king in the wars, so.
Nice. I know he used necromancy quite a bit, from what I've gathered. So he's been raised by necromancy 4 times. So I just need to make him legal.
And
you got Lita.
That's Zisto, that is what's his character name? Zisto. And Anton.
I don't know people's names.
Yes.
Nikolai.
That's
so
right.
He
I'm like, no,
so he says that you broke in with the Gyaradeski, so that's good.
Yes, they all became really good friends.
Yeah. So
they dissed, I dissed back, and we had a good fun.
Yeah.
And I just soaked every single magic destroying ability for everyone.
Yeah, there was some
I'm just like, I'm immune. So they had thrown abilities that would destroy your magic items and take away your powers. Well, I was first level and I had none of those. So I would come up and they would throw a packet and be like, ha, Toro. And I would just take the packets. I took like 13 for one guy. It might have been Nikolai. He's just like, I'm just going to stand right behind this guy the entire time.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. So, alright, well, welcome. Thanks for being here, Mechadum. Appreciate that. I guess we'll get started. So you're making your character first.
Yes.
So Kai here is going to make his character. We were trying to get it all pulled up, but it unfortunately didn't work. So you guys will just.
The sheet pulled up on the screen so you guys can at least see it.
No, if they can't see it, I don't. Well, yeah, unless you can pull it up on your phone. I want to be able to see chat. Okay, that works.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought the artifacts were immune.
No.
Oh.
Artifacts could be destroyed with that, and they were like, I don't know that you would want to let an artifact be destroyed, but if it was also your only... And so some of those retired characters, like, that's what they were. They don't have a lot of magic items because you can only retire with, like, 3.
So the difference between... The ones that were immune were the artificing items, which are different than artifacts. I know that's, like, confusing and very similar, but... So artificing items are things that are crafted by PCs in game.
Oh, see, he has no other magic items. So if he had been hit with that, he would have had to lose his artifact, which would have sucked.
That's why I became a good friend.
Yeah. So,
you now know.
And I was like, crap, man, I just bonded an item and I just bought my armor. My sword still has like 5 months left, or my mace. I'm like, I don't want to lose any of these.
I lost.
I know, you lost too many.
So I lost 3 evade rings. I'm actually glad that I had those because it saved so many more of my magic items because I lost 3 magic items and one of them was like super powerful for me. Like as an undead, it was awesome and I lost it because it was that or my artifact shield. So.
I'm a little surprised with my giant shield that I never got hit with one of those. I always ended
Yeah.
up not being on the front line when they started throwing those, and I was like, I'm gonna stay back here.
Yeah. I was on
Just
the front
be
line
useful,
all the
yes, be
time.
useful. Yeah, you go crazy. That's why she's bonding, because she goes ham. So, all right, well, let's get started. So, we're just going to go down from the top. So, player name, do you want to give that out or not?
Yeah, my player name is Kai.
No, that's your character name.
Oh, my regular name. My name is Buddy.
Buddy, okay. So, we don't need to go on the phone
Do we
number
wanna-
or email.
Do we want to link the rule book? I can't.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's
Are
link
we
the
going
rule
to
book.
fill
That
it out
way-
as we're going?
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
can't actually fill it out, but
Or you
we'll.
can just link this sheet.
Yeah, just link.
That's
the
what we
rule
were
book,
trying
yeah.
to get to work, and it wasn't working.
Ah, okay.
We spent a few minutes
So
on it, and
the quick start character sheet is like the last 2 or 3 pages of the PDF.
the rule book that we just linked. This is at the very end.
Okay.
Just like in D&D, the character sheets are at the end.
Yeah, that's that.
Wow. I just made that connection. Ding!
All right. So now the easiest way to start with making a character is actually start at page 7. So what I suggest doing is printing out the character planning sheet, because that's where you'll fill things out. But then to actually make your choices, you start that at page 7, and that's the getting started quick start guide. So the first thing that it's going to have you do is create a character concept.
Got it. I think I already got the character concept.
You've got the character concept. Is it something you want to share, or is it
Oh,
something
totally.
you
No, it's one of those, like, if people know about it, it'll be fun, because it's going to make that thing so much more difficult. So my character is based off of one role-playing experience I had in another game, where I planned the character to die. So I made a character that was trying to make necromancy legal, and was telling everyone the purposes and why it's good to have, and how you can save everyone's life by repurposing those that have already passed, which was even better because the Wednesday game, yeah, there was actually this big pacifist that was using the undead to save everyone, and I was ready to save that guy, but I didn't want to break in on someone's retirement.
Oh, she would have.
She would have killed me.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting to die. So
She would, if you had tried to stop her, I have no doubts that she'd have chopped you down as well.
oh, it would have been funny.
She would have killed me.
She
and
was-
she's a healer.
She was furious.
So there is a wonderful, one of my favorite comedy stits on YouTube is the Helsing Abridged. So I'm going for an Alucard type character that is trying to make necromancy legal again by showing everyone that no matter who you are, don't judge other people, because you never know what benefit they're getting. You don't know if they're saving your life, even though they do it in a way that you don't quite understand. It's still better to just judge the person by their actions and what they're doing as a whole. So he's going to be a good character that uses necromancy to save other people, and he doesn't see anything wrong with necromancy.
We almost gave him away, they said.
Don't be given away, gosh.
Given away, what do you mean?
I think they like the fact that you were casting necromancy. I think that they almost got you caught. I think, but he's trying
Actually,
to say.
I don't know if anyone heard other than the NPCs. I casted Necroblade like 4 times and killed 2 or 3 NPCs with it. And they're like, you can't swing that. That's what we swing. And I'm like, well, I was told Necroblade gives you the ability to swing past. And he's like, you casted that? He's like, that's illegal. I'm like, yeah, I know, killed you though. And he's like, oh, you're fun.
I wonder which one that was. That's great.
It was Barry.
Oh, we almost gave him away, the bad guy.
We were
Oh.
going to give him to Mendax. Oh, that's fun. King Mendax?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, that would have been perfect. I could have made necromancy legal the first day. He saved so many people, this guy, that they're giving away.
He didn't save any of them. He butchered them and turned them into golems.
But what if they volunteered?
They didn't.
Yeah, no.
How do you know? Did
Not
you
a
ask
thing.
them? You never know until you ask them. You have to get all the information. If someone volunteers to be better than they are by becoming a flesh golem, it seems like they're pretty good saving their family. See? Evil character. It's going to be great.
All right. So, step number 2 is choose your race. Okay. You already decided what you want to be.
I
right?
am. I'm going to be human because the disguise ability is pretty awesome. That way, if I actually die and this character flops, I can go disguise myself as someone else and try again. Until I die a lot more times.
So the different races, there's 4 elven races. There's Asurkian, Elantari, Knockmilna, and Zeliku. And then there's 2 dwarven races, the Grungnir and the Hrungnor.
Which we finally have a dwarf again.
I know,
that's
it's so cool. Okay, and then there's the Thorg, which are like gray-skinned orcs, basically.
I don't know what. Yeah, I know they're gray skinned. I don't know what.
They're not. I don't know. I don't know how to describe them.
Dumb. Oh.
I mean,
Professor
you could
Holtz.
always. I guess I could read the description, but I don't.
Well, we already went. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. And then there's barbarian, fae, halfling, human, orc, and parthen, which are cat people. So he chose to do human. So one of the things when you're choosing your race, you're given 2 options of skills that are specific to your race, and you have to choose one of those 2 options. So that's something to consider when choosing your race. So that's why he chose human, because disguise is one of those options. It's disguise or medicine is your options as human. So disguise it is. All right, so
Oh, he says Thorgs are like non-regen troll with gray skin.
gotcha. So a worse version of a troll, except that you can't PC a troll. So there you go. All right. So the next is choose a talent.
For this, so basically that's his racial utility skill. So when
Yes.
you're if you ever look at the sheet, his racial utility skill that he picked was disguise,
Yes.
because those are the ones that you start with. It was one of those 2.
Yep.
So, now what talent did you pick?
If I remember right, it was healing touch.
No. Talent.
talent.
So
Mystic.
Mystic.
Oh, mystic.
Yeah.
It sounds right, considering what you were doing.
Yep. I gotta be a healer. He's out to heal and help everyone.
Even if it's healing through necromancy. It's
Help everyone.
Says the person that can only be healed through
fine.
necromancy.
The only one. The only one that's not retired in game. Well, I don't know. Is there anyone else right now that's undead in
No.
town?
No,
I can't divulge
'Cause-
that information.
Straza used to be.
no, he's not anymore.
He's
He
not
got
anymore.
something happened. He got cleansed of his vampirism.
Yeah.
I know a couple, but I can't say. Because you don't oust people.
Well, I know lots of them that were there on Wednesday, but they're all retired.
Yeah, they're all retired. That's
Oh, he probably could have been retired. She also definitely was retired.
Yeah. Yeah, they were probably all retired. Yeah, most, like half the Gyrodetskis are undead.
Jeez, and they're retired? This seems like the characters I need to be with.
yeah.
They even
You're,
said I had the color scheme, so.
you're a few years too late.
Yep.
That's alright, we'll revival them. They'll all play the kids of their old characters.
That
That'd be funny.
I call them the Gyrodetsky Juniors.
All right. So once you choose,
Maybe that's my character's last name.
Okay,
They just
so-
don't know it yet. That would be weird. I gotta go ask them first.
So when you choose your talent, you're then given options. You have to choose a utility skill that falls under your talent, and you have to choose a combat skill that falls under your talent. So your utility skill options as a mystic are healing touch, grant well-being / shadow form, true vision / identify, scroll making, and medicine. And you chose
Healing touch.
healing touch. That's right. So healing touch is basically the 30-second heal.
Healing.
Yeah, I use that a lot.
Yeah.
Speak up just a touch.
Okay.
So and now so that's the talent utility skill. Now for the talent combat skill, there is mystic spellcasting, vitality / fear, charm / cause betrayal, restrain / immobilize, and defend you / weaken you.
So, I think I had something else for that one, but I think Mystic Casting was the one I wanted to do. now that I learned the abilities. Because I didn't know last time, so I was just given one, and I never used it. They had Repel. Was that right?
I don't remember.
Yep, but Mystic Casting is
Mystic Spellcasting.
the way that I want to go, because
Yep.
obviously you need that for other things, so.
Yep. All right. Okay, and now the last one, it says additional combat skill. Now you can choose a combat skill off of
Any tree, right?
any of the talents. So your options are elemental spellcasting, elemental sheath / empower spell, grant dodge / parry, trip / repel, vitality / fear, charm / cause betrayal, restrain / immobilize you, defend you / weaken you, weapon proficiency, parry, defend, trip, maim, backstab, dodge, repel, daze, restrain.
I can't remember what I think that was when I got Repel.
That's probably where you had repel, yeah.
Because, yeah, out of all the everyone said Repel's good. Gets people to run away.
Repel and Restrain, I think, are probably like my two favorite that I wish I had.
Yeah.
So did you want to keep that? Or
I
did you
don't
want
know
to
what the
choose
other ones
something else?
do. So,
Okay.
like, elemental casting sounds kind of
So
fun.
elemental spellcasting is the I summon fire 1, summon fire 2, summon fire 3, summon fire 4, summon fire 5 to burn you 2. And it's a thrown spell.
Oh, yeah.
So
You
you
don't
already got
have
the
to-
Mystic Casting where you can throw Cleanse. Then
Yeah.
on top of that, you could throw other elements if you needed. So you'd be
do
pretty well rounded
air,
at that
fire,
point in
water.
time. Yeah, you could do any of them just because you used fire. That's just an example, but
That seems good, because you kind of need the elements to kill certain creatures, right?
sometimes.
Yes, sometimes.
But you-
some specific creatures take specific.
So what would be the
Elements.
best utility spell? Because I have combat experience with a weapon, so I don't need a lot of weapon skills, because I'll forget to use them anyway. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. I just need to swing a stick. So if that's the best utility type spell that's like useful, because I got to be useful, because if you make a character that's trying to do things that no one wants done, you have to be useful or you're not going to make it very far in life. You're just going to get killed because they're like, we don't like you, go away. We're not going to come save you.
So elemental sheath and empower spell, that's one skill that has the two sides, right? So elemental sheath allows you to sheath a weapon for, is it 3 swings?
I think, yeah, the next 3 swings.
of a element.
That's kind of nice.
He says grant dodge parry if you are fighting.
I do fight a lot.
Yeah, those are combat skills.
Yeah,
and that's
those-
what we're looking for.
Yeah,
right?
we're looking for additional combat skill. So, he also said that when you were talking about the kids thing, he says, "Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
it's
messed up
messed up
kids." But no, you're right though, because we are trying to do combat. He keeps saying, but we're trying to do combat. So you're right. So parry is always nice if you're going to be a melee fighter at all, because basically if they hit you with something, you can call parry and they didn't hit you with it.
The thing
Unless
is, though,
it's
is that
forced.
he has so much like actual like sword fighting combat skill himself, like that he can physically parry things. He doesn't really need the skill.
Yeah, there was an NPC actually. He broke character. It was kind of funny. I was off by myself picking up an arrow, and apparently you're not supposed to go off by yourself, which is really nice about Mythic. You guys herd and become an invincible blob of death.
Yeah.
true.
So I went off to go get an arrow for a friend, and someone came up to attack me, and he was going really hard at it. He had 2 little weapons, and he was swinging really fast, and I blocked like 12 of his shots in a row, and he just stopped because he was tired. He's like, dang, that was amazing. And I'm like, yep, bye-bye. And I left. I think I hit him with a couple necromants, and he still lived because I wasn't swinging really hard. So I'm like, yeah, time for me to leave now
Yeah.
because you're still not dead, and eventually you'll just kill yourself by running at me and taking all my hits, and I'll die.
Yeah. And then empower spell does it increases your spell.
It increases the damage, I believe.
I'm sorry, I'm not a spellcaster. I don't know these things.
I know I'm not either. Like I used to be a Mystic Spellcaster, and I respect out of it.
Yeah, you got to find the style. Definitely, like when you make a character, you got to find the style that you enjoy playing. So because I do so many different fighting hobbies, I don't get a lot of fun out of LARP fighting because it's very much just glorified stick tag. So there's a lot of moves that like I do naturally because I've learned them that don't work in LARP because it's like a parrier post to the side of the head. Well, you can't strike in the head. Well, I don't think you can strike in the head. I never strike in the head in locked weapons because it's just made.
Yeah, we're not allowed to.
So if you go for someone's shoulder and they're moving, and they like duck down or like they try to swing on you, you end up clocking them in the head. And because I'm really tall, which we had a fun experience fighting, I'm able to swing over people's heads and like block all their hits. So like with him, me and him had the same reach when we were fighting there. So I'd sit there and heal, and then start like blocking for him and everything, and just tacking around his back. So you have to find one that works. So I don't like fighting. I like playing a backpack type character.
Yeah. So, Empower spell is the same as Elemental Sheath except for force spells. So you Empower spell imbues a character with improved direct healing or damage for the next 3 packets without changing the damage type. So instead of being like, you now cast for fire, it's you now have +3 damage or healing to your spells.
Oh, and I can use it how many times?
It depends on your level, your skill level. So.
And all right, that seems good.
Yeah.
Because like if that empowers my spells, then I can do that for the healing touch, and then the reverse of the necroblade, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go with that. That seems great.
I don't think it powers the healer's touch.
Yeah, it's healing or damage.
Well, I think it means the burst healing, specifically.
Improved direct healing or damage. I don't know. That's what it says.
I don't know. We'll have to ask somebody. But either way, it sounds like that's the way he wants to go.
Yeah,
so.
It sounds pretty good. Like being able to heal. That was the one problem with being a new healer. I had the healing, but it just took a couple.
Yeah.
They're just like, I need more. I'm like, how many? Like 5 of those. I'm like, oh.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah,
there.
healing touch cannot be increased. That's what I thought. Healing touch
okay.
is static
That's good
based
to know.
on the levels of healer's touch, and nothing boosts that. So he's talking about when you go up and do like your burst heal, you can increase your burst heal even higher. So
Gotcha.
That'll work because
Yeah,
I'm going to
'cause-
plan on burst healing anyway.
yeah, like right now you heal for what, like 4?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, if I would be there forever with you.
Yeah, I know. I was there behind you doing it.
like-
He was like, I need more of those. I'm like, I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, 'cause
Just every 30 seconds, I'll pop another one on.
yeah, I have a lot of hit points now. Finally, with my magic armor.
Yay.
Yay!
All right.
Magic armor, so awesome.
All the way back to the top. Okay.
Important statistics. These are important because
Okay.
I forget them. Starting health right now is 6 health.
Yep.
Unless you have armor that boosts that, or arcane armor. You didn't take
no,
arcane
we
armor,
didn't
did
take
you?
arcane armor.
Wait, you can get arcane armor?
Yeah.
What is that?
So arcane armor is plus.
At first level, I think it's like +1 hit point, and your damage ceiling is 8.
Yeah, that's a utility.
Is it a utility?
Yeah, that's a utility, and
Oh, so you have to wait on that
yeah,
probably.
you can't get that yet because
That's fine.
it's a
I was wearing
arcanist.
some armor, and I think my ceiling cap was 5.
Did you have any chest armor on?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's your chest armor that determines your damage ceiling. So.
Yeah, I had chest armor on, and it was just covered in layers of cold clothing.
I mean warm clothing, cold weather
Yes,
clothing.
cold weather
Cold weather.
clothing.
Yes.
Cold weather
So,
armor.
starting health is 6. That goes up at thresholds of skill points.
Yep.
Bleed count is 1 minute. Super important. And then death count 5 minutes.
Yep.
Not 2 like I thought for some stupid reason.
Why did you think your death
I
count was 2 minutes?
I don't know. Because that's how long it's been since
die.
I've gone down. Like
that's
literally,
good, I guess.
yeah. Like I forgot. Like, but when we were fighting those gargoyles, I got to 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. And they're like, wait, and then I'm like, wait, Gomez, what's the healing? What's the death count anyway? He's like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I got 3 minutes left. I'm good. Because that was the 3 minutes total between bleed and death.
Yeah.
The funny part was I was at 55 seconds on my bleed count, and they come up and death blowed me. I'm like, you just wasted that.
Yeah.
But I had
An
5
extra
seconds
5
left.
seconds.
Yeah, so
All right. So then, let's see. There's the additional health from armor. So you had a chest piece that covered your front and back. So that's 1 for your front, 1 for your back. It covered your arms as well. It's half a point for each arm. So that's 3. And then your boots came up. If your boots cover your shins, it counts
wait, are you serious?
armor. Yep.
So I don't have to wear my armor on my legs because my boots cover
Yeah, if they come
You
up
just
over your
can't see.
shins.
You just can't see them because my pants are in the way.
Yep. For realsies.
Wait, like how high in your shins are you talking about? Like up to below your knee?
Like mid shin, I think, or is
Yeah,
it below
my
knee?
boots are mid shin,
Nice.
Yeah.
so I don't even need to wear my. I mean, I'll wear it anyway because it's furry
Looks
and it
much
looks cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's warm, it's fine.
Does look cool.
It's not really warm, but they're a pain in the butt to put on because I'm fat.
Understand.
So you get +4 health from armor.
Yep, I had a total of 10 and a cap of 5. Is what I remember.
Yep.
Did you have metal armor on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chain.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do it. Wait, I thought chain was medium.
No, chain's heavy, isn't it?
No, I think chain's medium.
Okay, so
I think
that was
scale
6. Sorry.
scale
I-
is heavy.
The stuff they were hitting me was 34, so I didn't.
Well, everything everything
I
was
just took it.
everything was force 10 or pass or siphon, so it didn't matter anyway.
anyways.
Yep, block everything. That's
Yeah.
all I knew.
Like I was like, and every time I was gonna activate like my shadows on my armor, it never mattered because the things would die before I got a chance to.
Yeah, there was one moment that someone popped an ability. I can't remember. They were swinging for like 30 or 40, and the Gradeskis were there in like force, and I just jumped in and took like 6 of them and then fell. And the guy's like, I like you. First aid man picks me up, and he's just like, I'm like, oh, I'll go again. I'm at full. We're good. He's like, you're at 1. I'm like, yeah, that's full. One hits the one hit. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
He says that was so. What was because the Gardeskis were there? Sorry, I missed something.
Oh, because all the skills hitting for force or pass or
Oh,
any of
that's
that,
why
yeah.
they were doing the pass and the siphon because the
Yeah,
Gardeskis.
because the Gyrodeskis were there. That's why
Well,
it was.
they had a bunch
so
of
bad.
retired people that were way strong, so they had to do something to.
So he
challenge.
was super useful because he
I
wasn't
was
strong,
because-
and so he just absorbed everything for everybody else.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because we were commenting on that. I'm like, it's my first day in the guild, and I'm immune to everything they're throwing, and effectively don't care if I get hit. So like, I would run up there and just take everything, and they're just like, oh man, this guy's crazy. And then I can outsword fight a couple of them, where I'm like, everyone's hitting for 1 anyway, so I'm like, got this. I will just one you because I have really long arms, really long reach. That I ended up killing one guy. I think it was right in front of you. There was a little standstill in the middle of the road, and no one could swing, and I'm just like tapping his shin over and over and over again in his thigh. And eventually he goes down. I'm like, ha ha, 31's you. It was pretty funny.
Is that when you got weakened?
No.
No, he
We
was
can
just swinging for 1 because things were like all
Everything-
sliding to 1 anyways. It was greatly
yeah.
reduced.
So they're like, I'm always greatly reducing yours. And I'm like, yep, I know. He's like, just swing 1 because that's how much I'm taking anyway. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
One.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yeah, so another thing that you start with as a mystic, you get you are proficient with the detect magic spell. So you can detect magic. I summon Wisdom of the Ages
I
to
think
detect
so.
magic. And that will let you know what level of magic something is. Level 1, 2,
1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, anything above 3 is what do they call that? I don't know. I'm not a magic person.
I don't think there is anything above 3.
Yeah, there is. Is it
Artifacts?
artifact? No,
I don't think so.
No, there's some what? Not magic. No
Nice.
affliction. Detect affliction and detect magic. They get both. Mystics get detect magic and illuminate.
Wait, you just confused him. Mystics get detect magic and detect
Affliction.
affliction. The other caster gets the magic and the illuminate.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Did I say that backwards?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. So
So mystics get detect magic and detect affliction, and then arcanists get detect magic and illuminate. So yeah, they get both.
yeah, I was upsetting Valoron because I kept getting dire charm, and like it's the only thing I can't resist. And so he'd come up to me and he would be like, "Detect magic." I'd be like, "Level 3." He's like, "Crap, I don't know if you're charmed or not." So he just kept wasting all these great well beings on me because he kept.
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, I'm fine."
This is the problem with having level 3 magic items on you. So if you have a magic item on you that is level 3.
Well, charm's level 1, so I have level
Right.
1 magic items anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered either way.
yeah.
But because I have a ritual on me, I have level 3. So
Yeah, I've got like 4 personal rituals on me, which are all level 3. Okay. Is that it? So now technically we can go in
sorry.
and it's fine. Break this down into how much skill points they're putting into each one, but we'll do that after we get his because that's a little bit more technical. Okay, so humans don't require any makeup whatsoever because we're human naturally, right? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, don't you start with like 20 skill points? Like that's starting character skill points is 20.
Yes, 20
Yeah.
skill points is what you start with.
So he could possibly make some of these higher level, right?
Yes, it is, and that'll depend on the skills that he chose and how much skill points they cost and all of that. So do we want to go into that before we make his?
Yeah, we've got
Okay.
tons of time.
All right, let me find the chart. Hold on.
Believe it.
Believe it. So,
No, that brings me back. Old school Naruto. Old school.
never seen it.
Oh yeah, no. The first season. I'm guessing that's what that's from. Okay, I would say the first season of Naruto.
I mean, I have seen a little Naruto.
the abridged version of it. He said, "Believe it," every single episode 2 or 3 times.
All right, I'm
And
gonna need something.
none of the fans liked it, so as soon as they hit the second season, he stopped completely. And they're just like, "Stop that!"
All right, so you have
Kind of love it.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were quoting. I'm like, "Oh, I haven't heard that for so long."
Mystic
It's so funny.
So when you're at home, you don't necessarily need to go into all these skill point breakdowns and everything. That's what you'll do in an open house.
Yep.
Which we have one coming up this Wednesday. Because at that point, then they actually have like a nice Excel spreadsheet that like does all the math for you and everything. And so it's just basically like, how much is it going to be for me to take 2 levels in this? And they'll just do the math and they'll be like, oh, there it is. There's the breakdown. So, but we're going to try to do this anyway, just to kind of show you guys that you can, at level 1, have higher level abilities. Or not level 1, but at character creation, you can have abilities higher than their base stat. So,
Question for you: if healing touch goes up, does the Necroblade go up?
I think so.
Found all my points for the rest of history.
Well, there's only 3 levels of healer's touch, so.
That makes sense. It goes up
It's-
4 every time.
yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. That's why someone was kept at 12.
Yep.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's one of the few skills that
Right.
has only 3.
Okay, so level 1 Mystic
That
Spellcasting
ability is really good for me.
is
So the pass, if you hit someone, it bypasses all their defenses and goes straight to their body. So they're good points. So for someone who has really long reach and I can just tap a knee or a thigh really easy, just like, oh, take full damage, take full damage, take full damage, run away. Because a lot of things had a lot of defenses and it bypasses their defenses from what they were told me. So I did it on one guy. I came up there and hit him. Someone gave me an ability that infused my weapon to hit for 9s.
Oh.
So I was hitting for 1s, and this guy cornered me by myself, and I'm just like, alrighty. I just cast my little necro thing on the way out there, because I'm like, well, if I have to be caught out by myself, I might as well be prepared. Yeah. So he came up to me, and I'm just like, alright, I guess it's time for you to die. 9 pass, 9 pass, 9 pass. And I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, you can't swing for that. I'm like, yeah, no, it's this ability. I'm like, it worked really good on you. So I forgot to loot him because I wasn't worried about looting because I don't care. I don't care about items. I'm just going to use it to buy other people's affection.
Looting, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because someone else will do it, right?
Not even that. Sometimes they just don't even think to give them money.
Yeah, sometimes
Oh.
the NPCs aren't.
They just
holding
don't even have
coin.
it.
Yeah, it would make sense in the like super cold where you're just like, I ain't digging in my pockets. I have gloves on. It's
Yeah.
super hard to get in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so starting with 20 skill points. Okay, level 1 Mystic Spellcasting is 2 skill points. Elemental Sheath Empower Spell is 3.
Down to 15.
Disguise is 8.
Yeah, it's that good.
Down to 7.
Yeah. And then Healing Touch is 4.
Down to 3.
So you've got 3 more skill points that you could spend.
Don't think anything is going to cost 3.
Mystic Spellcasting costs
I thought that's the one I got.
3 if you wanted to get level 2.
What does level 2 do?
More cleanse damage, more burst
Yeah, it
damage.
increases your damage.
Well, actually, he needs to pick, when he does that, he needs to pick if he's doing static or burst or... That's something we didn't go over, right? Because that's
Yeah.
what it is with Mystic Spellcasting.
Mhm.
Do you remember what you did,
No.
if you did?
No, I didn't use that one. I didn't use anything but healing touch and then
Yeah.
the reverse of healing touch.
Yeah, because that's one of those
It was-
ones that you pick. You pick if it's... There's 3 options. It's just like all the other ones, so they have the 3 options. It's either
Yeah.
static damage or burst damage or something else. I don't remember what the third one is.
So what is the... Obviously static is a set number. Burst is a higher number, but in less of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 1 burst of plus. Let me just pull it up.
I have a feeling he's going to beat you.
Yeah, he probably will. Okay, so with Mystic Spellcasting, you get your strike. So a strike, if you take this option, you gain 1 strike per battle. A Mystic Spellcasting strike allows a character to quickly cast for either plus 5 damage or healing for 3 spell packets, or plus 10 damage or healing for 1 packet, chosen at the time of casting. To use this strike, you must say the incant appropriate for your chosen damage healing type, followed by the damage healing type and amount. I summon life to cleanse you 13. The strike is used whether the casting hits or misses. If the 3 spell packet option is taken, all 3 packets must be of the same damage healing type and must be used in immediate succession within 10 seconds, or the remaining packets are wasted. I summon life to heal you 8, heal you 8, heal you 8. You may take this option multiple times, however, you may not use more than 1 strike on any single target. This is the skill granted by bonus uses of Mystic Casting. Heightened Strike. If you take this option, all Mystic Spellcasting strikes do more damage, increasing by an additional plus 4 damage healing for the 3 packet spell, an additional plus 8 damage healing for the 1 packet spell. A character who took this option twice would use healing spellcasting strikes for plus 13 damage for 3 packets, or plus 26 damage for 1 packet. So you have to get strike before you can get heightened strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or then there's
And then
the
it's
static.
the static plus 2 damage or healing. And that's just a all the time plus 2.
Mechadom
And
says...
that doesn't... I'm sorry.
No, he just says strikes are better for Mystic, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because that burst seems to get people out of the problem pretty quick.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go
It
with.
really
is
does.
The strikes.
And
since I like to swing, I can swing weapons with it. And it goes for the whole play of, I'm a healer, and if I need to attack, I can flip it and do some damage with it. So I like that. So yeah, I'm going to go with strikes.
Okay.
Alright. So we're going to go... So that puts you at 19 skill points, because
Okay.
we're getting you level 2 Mystic Spellcasting.
No, each level is not an accumulative, it's a new... So he has to spend 3 more skill points to get level 2.
3.
Yeah. So he's at 20.
Right.
So that's
Oh, yeah.
literally going to
It
cap you
was-
out. So each level,
Yeah.
so it's not like 1 more skill point from the level before. It's
Right.
literally another 3 skill points. So
Yep.
it gets expensive really quick.
Yeah. I was looking at the
So-
wrong chart.
Yeah.
So they have the chart broken down for the skill points per level. They have it broken down 2 ways. They have the cost of each individual level, and then they have a cumulative.
Yeah.
So if you've got a bunch of skill points and you say, well, I want to buy up to level 5, you can just look at the cumulative chart and say it's going to cost me, 10 skill points to get this skill to level 5, or it's going to cost me 22 skill points to get this skill to level 5, depending on what skill it is.
And then how much do you get per level? So
It's
like,
per event.
per event?
It's 2. Well, so it depends. So it's $5 for 1 skill point and $10 for 2
6.
skill points. Oh,
6 for 1, 10 for 2.
10 for 2.
Ah.
If you NPC though, you have the option of doing double skill points or
$5 credit.
credit. So if you want, that's why a lot of people will NPC for a little while. So you still have to play at least 1 session of 20 skill point character. But then after that, say you saved up to get up to like 50 or 60, your next session you come in at that, or your next module, I guess you could say so. But they always want.
Every new character has to come in at least once at 20 seconds.
Yep.
Well, that's half the fun.
Well, that's it. They want everyone to have that one event where they're like, everything's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I got the opposite. It was great.
It was pretty good.
So funny.
It was pretty good.
So.
All right, so that's basically that, other than like choosing costuming and background and actually talking with some of the other players and seeing like, hey, do we know each other, from beforehand, establishing backstory and things like that. But as far as the actual character itself, that's that.
And knowing someone in your backstory doesn't have to be super involved.
Right.
Like, one of them that just recently came in literally met someone in passing in a tavern.
Yep.
And they were like, hey, you should come check out Falcon. You should come check out Northwatch. Okay. I mean, it was literally that simple. It was not... Yep. I mean, I have big tie-in in my backstory, but... And so did my brother Boji. But you don't have to go that extreme. You don't have to do it at all.
And coming in as a group is fun, too. Like,
oh, yeah.
If there's a bunch of you guys that want to start playing... make your characters together, that you're all, like the Gierdetskis who will be on next week, they're all family, or like I brought in Aziza. I brought her in with my daughter and two of her friends, and we came up with this, elaborate backstory of, cults and trying to find a cure to heal someone's sick dad and, all of that stuff. That brought us to Northwatch, but yeah, so you can get really elaborate with your backstory. You can keep it pretty simple. It's plot really likes to have some sort of backstory to work with, even if it's kind of vague.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get plot. If you never turned in backstory to plot, they won't give you plot. I mean, you can include yourself into plot, but it's hard for them to direct things at your character if they don't know your character.
Yeah, if they don't know what you want, what your desires are, or even some background that they can start playing off of, it is hard for them to be like, we're just going to make stuff up and hope he likes it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. So,
Yep.
I don't know how much we're going to go into backstory on this, because I'm supposed to have another couple guys talk about that, but we'll see. It just depends on time.
Yep.
So, so that's it for your character. So as you guys can see, even in the beginning, you can have some skills that are above level 1, just depending on what skills you buy. He ended up buying Disguise, which ended up costing a lot. But that's not always necessarily going to be the case.
Can you buy it later?
No, you have when you pick it at character generation, that's it.
Yes.
So you can choose to only start with 2 or 3. So you have to pick your starting talent and racials. And then that starting combat skill that you get to choose any off the tree, you can forego that and put those points into something else if you want to, and then pick that up later.
Oh, okay.
Every time a slot opens up as you progress in skill points, you don't have to put anything in that slot right then.
So like that empowered one I wouldn't have to get?
No.
Right.
Oh. How many points is that one? Because more healing seems great. Because I'll probably forget it.
That was 3, but I don't know if you can get another...
I don't think you could get another level of healing.
Yeah.
Because the next level is going to be... Are you talking about Healer's Touch specifically?
Yeah, that one or the other one. That way I can keep it
Healer's
really
Touch has
simple.
big jumps because there's only 3 levels.
Healer's Touch is 6 skill points for the next level, and then Mystic Spellcasting is 4 points for the next level.
I mean, the other option that you could go with is instead of taking Disguise now, you could choose First Aid or Medicine. And then you could always pick up Disguise later as another utility skill.
So
Okay, that's what I was wondering too, because I'm not planning on using Disguise until this character dies too many times for people to go, yeah, I really don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And go, okay, well, I'll play a different guy.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So like you have to pick a racial utility, but you don't have to pick Disguise now. You could pick Medicine now and then pick up Disguise later.
Medicine is 4 skill points opposed to the 8.
And that would give you enough for the Mystic.
The other Healer Touch?
I think so.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so Medicine...
Because that makes it easy. I just want to make it easy because I won't use Disguise for a long time. And if everyone keeps liking this character, then I don't know if I'm going to use Disguise, so...
That's so funny. All right, yeah. So
But it's just in case he dies.
so medicine gives you the ability to first aid.
So
And
Oh,
to-
that was another ability I saw that I liked because people were using that like crazy.
Yeah.
Which
Uh,
one?
First,
First aid.
aid. That's how you get people out of their bleed count.
Yeah,
So it puts
yeah,
you up
that
to
was
1.
nice.
And dazed for 10 seconds.
And dazed for 10 seconds.
Which they like the healer to remind the people of.
Oh yeah.
So they
Just be
they
"You're
like
dazed."
you to count and be like first aid 1 through 10, and then at 10 say up at 1, dazed for 10 seconds, just as a kind of reminder, because some people
'Cause
get in
it's
the
a new
heat of the
thing.
moment.
It didn't
Oh,
used
okay.
to do that.
You know, they used to do that.
Okay, that works out because like I was thinking about that earlier because I'm like, if I first say them, then I get to sit there and heal them and just go, okay, stay here, I'll heal you,
Yeah.
and that's what I.
But at least they're up and defending themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Because
Oh, perfect.
when you start healing somebody, you also pause their bleed count.
Yeah.
As soon as you start healing them, but if you get interrupted, then they're still bleeding. So yeah. Okay, so if
And
you
can
take
you block while you're healing someone? So for instance, if someone's attacking me and I'm healing someone and someone swings at me, can I block or is that?
Yeah.
interrupted?
yeah, you can block, but if you
sweet.
get hit,
Yeah, then it interrupts.
then
it.
it interrupts it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm gonna be super healer. Yeah, let's go with the medicine one. That one seems better in like a second level of healing touch. That would
Okay.
be
Yeah,
great.
you should have enough skill points for that.
Okay, so that gives you
Because you can get rid of the empower one too. Because keeping it super simple when you first start is really, really important.
Yeah.
Because when you're like, yeah, I got 20 abilities. I don't know half of them are. Like in D&D, you're just like, look, I got 20 spells. I don't know what any of these do. You're
Okay.
like,
I don't know that you'll
Eldritch
ever
Blast.
get to 20 abilities.
so you want to forego the elemental sheath and power spell?
Yeah, yeah. Just keep it to the burst healing and the healing touch. Because that's what I plan on doing. I want to backpack people. I want to be useful and have fun and be a big block stick for them and a big door to catch spells. Because
All right, so that puts you at 19.
that's how you make friends. You just take all the abilities.
So there you go.
So
Nice.
that's second level mystic spell casting, second level healing touch, and first level medicine.
Perfect.
So healer.
Awesome.
Necroblade.
What does that do for the Necroblade on the second level healing touch?
More damage, probably.
Yeah, let me.
Does
pull
it
up.
did it increase my damage last time? Oh, I just thought this one for pass.
No, yeah, it's just.
You know, it might not do anything. I don't know. I don't
I'll say
know.
not a lot of
necromancy.
people cast.
I
it,
don't know
so
necromancy,
Okay.
so
The player rep
Oh.
guy is just like, you will like this spell. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Brayden. He was like, "You like this spell?"
well, but yeah, because he used to throw necromancy all the time, and he got in trouble many
Yeah,
times.
So
Wow.
Necroblade.
It's
Necroblade
gotta be so friendly
empowers.
that no one cares to turn you in. Or make them the sheriff, so that way if they turn it in, you'd be like, stop doing that, and then tell me to leave. Sheriff.
You're trying to buy me.
patron.
I see how it is.
I'm not going to buy you. I'm going to get you a wife, and she is going to help you become sheriff.
Okay, so Necroblade empowers the caster to channel death magic into a weapon. The caster must plant a foot, place a hand on the target weapon, and maintain contact for 30 seconds. Necrotic Blade is not interrupted if the caster speaks, but is interrupted if the caster takes damage, moves the planted foot, just one foot has to stay planted, not both, uses another skill or item, or breaks contact with the weapon. Necroblade allows the caster to use Wraith Blade at first level, Disease Blade at second level,
What does that do?
and Reaper's Blade at third level.
Oh, that sounds way cool.
And you can
Love the
choose
names.
at the time of casting which one you use.
Ooh.
So you can, at level 2, you can use Wraith Blade and Disease Blade. Wraith Blade, the target weapon may swing for pass damage 3 times in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, so I was playing it right.
And then Disease Blade, the target may swing for cause disease 3 times in the next 5 minutes.
What does disease do?
If it's disease poison, it's halves their hit points, and what else does disease do?
They
Does
have
it
to
lower-
walk? Is that the one where they have to walk?
I don't think so. It
No,
might
Is
be.
that weaken?
That's. I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
That means it doesn't come up a lot.
I always have to ask.
Well,
which
I don't
one's
remember
Yeah.
because I had an
Yep,
item that
nine.
when I got diseased, I got cooler. So I don't remember what disease does. I just know that when I got diseased, I got cooler. So I forgot.
That's kind of cool, though. Because, like, if you have a tag team where you're
Okay.
like, all right, I need a disease, you're just like, whack.
Yeah.
take a disease.
Makes the target unable to walk any faster than a slow walk for 10 seconds. Additionally, the character's maximum health is reduced by half round down for the duration of the logistics until the disease is cured.
That is fantastic.
So the walking is only 10 seconds, but the hit points is
Until cured.
until cured.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because then my little 1 damages become useful, because if they have 30 hits, then I go to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way good. Yeah. Man, these things keep getting better and better. Necromancy is amazing. I don't know why anyone's doing anything else.
Because it's illegal. It's
Because you get caught enough and
If
you
you're
get
not-
executed.
if
That's
you're not
why.
sneaky enough, it's bad.
Then I'm just going to make it legal, and then everyone will be necromancers for like a year. Then they'll become illegal very fast after that. But for a year, everyone will be able to play necromancers. It'll be great.
You missed. What was it? Where were they just at? Where necromancy was fine to cast.
That's what everyone said, Arbor Isles.
Yeah, you just missed, you just missed the place that would have been great for you.
Yep. Okay. Okay, I think that's that then. I'm
Cool.
ready to do Star.
Yes.
Freaking love that.
All right, so let's pull up
Only
the
one
sheet
thing.
again.
Give me raspberry.
You're good.
Yes. That's exactly
That's what I was thinking too, actually. I'm like,
Nerds, what's up, Nevitz?
Hey, Nevitz.
Woo.
You want this one or the other sheet first?
That one's fine. Wait, what was the other sheet?
alright, Lone Star is the best.
Oh no, we don't really need that one.
Yeah.
We kind of went over that. Like, these are really good questions to help you flesh out your character. So right before the character sheet, there's a one that says Mythic Realms character form,
That's cool.
and it's got a lot of questions to kind of help you
Figure out a backstory.
figure out some information on your character, like, you know, what's that will also help you determine skills, because once you know that, you're like, oh, I was a barbarian from the north. Well, then you're not going to be throwing around spells probably if you're a barbarian from the north, because barbarian, you know, but doesn't mean you can't. It just usually helps you figure things out. So yeah. So that's just some good questions. What motivates your character?
Yeah, just read through the questions. And then if you want to, do you want to go through these questions and answer them, or do you want
I
to
don't know
just...
if I have all the answers to them.
All right, so we'll just read the questions so that our viewers
Well, answer them to the best of your ability. So
Yeah. So we'll just read through the questions so that you guys know what they are.
That is important.
what is your character's full name?
I only have a first name, which is Flynn.
Flynn?
You're way cool. I like you. We can be friends.
Okay.
I'll never let you die.
FLY.
Probably FLYNN.
Yeah. All right.
2 N's, nice. So, you
Double
want to
N,
read the
Flynn.
second one?
All right.
Double in.
What currently motivates your character to live each day as an adventurer? This is something that you'll get asked in game a lot, especially
Yeah,
when you first come in. They're like, well, why are you here? You know, like, what brings you to Northwatch? You'll get that question a lot. Why do you explore ancient elemental tombs, search for treasure in old caverns, hunt legendary monsters, and seek out the forgotten ruins of ages past?
Yeah, so I have a bit of a character concept in mind that we kind of chatted about, and that's probably the answer to this question. So my character, I intend for him to be an Elentari. Did I say that right?
Yep,
Yep.
Elentari.
And the Elentari are an elven people who are like pretty into combat and battles and martial.
Traditions and all that,
Yeah. And so my character grew up working as kind of
He's
what is
quite-
your quest? What is the
Airspeed velocity.
airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Okay,
Yeah, I know. We
so yeah, lost my train of thought. Thanks, Nevitz. Just kidding. Okay, so my character grew up working for his father as a weaponsmith, but he didn't want to do that. He is here following his dream. He wants to be a bard. He wants to sing and have adventures and make friends and have fun. And so that's his quest. That is his motivation.
he explores dungeons because he thinks it's fun.
Well, and because he wants to have great stories to share in his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to bard it up.
Yeah.
And the
You
way
can't sing about your conquests if you haven't had any conquests.
Yeah.
it's true.
Next question is, where does your character come from? Where has your character lived since then? Is your character an oath-bound citizen of any kingdom?
So I don't know the answer to this. You guys tell me, where did the Elentari come from?
The Elentari are most likely from Ethlyn's.
Ethlyn Isles.
Ethlyn's
There's where
Spire.
I'm from.
Yep. That's where Lita's from. Lita was originally an Elentari before she turned undead. I was in the military.
Okay.
In Ethlyn's Spire. So.
See, I'm sensing a tie-in. My father maybe served in the military.
Well, like the thing is that just because all other Elentari are from there doesn't mean you have to be. You could have been born and raised in Falcon Crest. You could have been born and raised in the Queenslands. Like,
Yeah, but no. Flynn wanted to escape and get it far away where he could live the life he wanted to live and not be pulled. Not have pulls.
That does kind of make sense because you've been with all the other elves, and so you wanted something new and different. So that being from there does actually kind of make sense with what you've said. So. That works. So, are you a citizen of... I don't know that they have citizens of the Ethlyn Isles?
I don't think Ethlyn's Spire has citizens.
How long have you been gone? Like, have you sworn
Did you just leave?
Oh, I just left. I just
Okay.
showed up.
Nice.
When I show up, I just showed up.
Yeah, so
I was
you-
like, I heard some fun stuff was going
Yeah,
on
so
here.
you won't be a citizen
So,
of Falcon Crest.
here I
then,
am.
for sure. So,
Okay.
number
Do you
4.
play an instrument?
Number
Yeah, I do.
Are you going to play your instrument as you travel?
Sure thing.
You should.
Those
They
are
are
the
my
Although I had to
favorite
get-
characters in the
I had to
world.
get a beater guitar because,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you
I
don't
will
wanna
be there to
bring an
protect
ice
you because the bard is the
Yay.
most important person in the party.
We can have 2 bards singing a duet to us. It'll be great.
exactly.
Yeah.
Brave Sir Robin. You just have to find someone to be your Sir Robin.
Svetlana, her other character is a bard, and she plays guitar and sings.
That's fantastic.
She's good. Okay. Where are we? What
4.
might you encounter that truly terrifies your character?
That's a good
Trolls, undead, elemental magic, spiders,
one. Necromancy.
clowns.
Boring.
I mean,
Boring.
I don't
Boring
like clowns. I don't know. Here's one I don't have an answer for yet.
All right.
Gosh, that is a good one.
It is a
I'm
good
gonna
one.
make it clowns. Like go full on
I mean-
necro against clowns. Be like, no, you deserve to die and not come back.
Jesters.
You get to stay dead.
Joey didn't necessarily have an answer to this question in
Yeah,
the
Peru.
beginning, but I do now. Like, Joey's fear now is his bonds dying.
Bonds are.
So he's a warden, and he is bonded to people to help
Oh,
keep
to
them
protect
alive.
them? Yeah,
right,
that's
so he's
cool.
bonded to Lita.
So I've already experienced my fear once.
Because I died right in front of your face.
Yep.
There was nothing you could do about it.
I mean, there was. I was just too slow.
I mean, you know.
Well, if you did necromancy, you could
So
say.
it was all your fault. That's what.
Yeah, it is my fault.
You'll teach you necromancy, and
Jovi-
I'll never have to leave you again.
And Jovi
bring
takes
it back.
Jovi takes it very seriously.
Yeah. All right. So the next question is, what is your character's greatest aspiration?
To be the greatest bard of all time.
Obviously, it's the best bard.
He wants to be so sought after that, the king of Falcon Crest would want to be in his audience. If you've ever read like The Wheel of Time, he wants to be
yes.
Tom Maryland.
Got it. Nice.
I like this character.
Boji says his fear is the world's supply of bacon running out. And
Terrifying.
in fact, there was actually a time where we were experiencing nightmares while walking. We were experiencing daymares, and his daymare was that like all the pigs in the land had died from some disease, and the meat was not edible, so like bacon was gone forever. And like he just started freaking out. He's like, no more bacon. So they actually, so the funny thing is, they know that that's his fear, and they used it against him, and it was funny. It was great.
Okay, next question. What is your character's greatest secret, and who knows it?
Ooh, I like this.
I don't know if I've got that one yet either. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was conscripted into the military, but that's why he came. He was dodging conscription.
Draft
That'd be cool.
dodger. Got it.
Boji and Jovi have a big secret.
Dun, dun, dun.
You're secretly the world's greatest tap dancer, but you're so afraid to do it in public that you'll never do it.
I grew up doing two things, weapon crafting and ballet, and I don't do ballet in public.
Exactly. The deities come down and watched you and graced you with your presence, but you don't do it in public anymore because they're not worthy. That's your secret.
So see, the next one is,
Fantastic.
what has been the most significant moment of your character's life and why?
Telling his father he was leaving because he was disowned.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Please concisely describe your character's backstory. Concisely.
I think
400
it's
words
described.
or less.
Yeah, you've kind of gotten into that already,
You did.
so we're
You did a
good
really
there.
good job. Some people, they put this on there because some people turn in like a novella.
Pages.
Yeah.
They're like, and this is everything that my character has ever experienced in their lifetime.
Because it's fun for some people.
Yeah, and a lot of people enjoy that. But
Yeah,
plot
like
doesn't want that. Plot wants...
Oh, yeah.
They want story that they can manipulate. That's what they want.
Well, and beyond that, who wants to memorize like
Yeah.
40, 30-page long backstories?
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like DMing for 40 people. You don't want to read that much.
Yeah. So here's kind of a good one actually to get you started, and this would be a good one to answer. What type of plot lines would you like your character to become involved in?
The ones that are gonna make a great story. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of
epic tales.
fear. But he also doesn't have a great desire to get into mighty conflicts because he's kind of a pacifist. But he wants to be able to tell a good story. So if it's dangerous, he's still gonna go because he wants to be able to tell that story.
That's
Yeah, we don't need to answer that last one.
No, you
That's the
don't.
most important.
Yeah,
I don't
10
need
is the
Nevitz
most
calling
important
me.
if you're filling this out. But
Yeah, just
we
so-
don't need to tell it.
Yeah, 10 is important so they can contact you and
It's basically your contact information so that plot can get a hold of you for plot reasons.
so let's go with the character sheet. Player name, Lone Star.
Lone Star.
No.
Character name is Flynn.
We need to become best
Oh, are we
friends.
not logged in?
Oh, I just realized. I'm like, why aren't we having blood?
Oh, that's why the sound
I'll
didn't
get you a
play.
backup dance group.
Yes.
Sorry.
That sounds great.
All right. I was waiting for it so that I could.
You like skeletons,
Be like,
zombies,
nobody say
ghosts.
anything.
It'll be Halloween themed, but yeah.
It'll be perfect. A little bit of each so that they can, they can fill the different roles.
Exactly.
So-
I'm thinking pygmy
All right.
skeletons with jack-lantern heads
Ooh,
and
I
ghost
like
capes.
this.
So,
Backup dances.
so your race is going to be the Elentari.
Yep.
So did you look through the racial skills?
Yes. So weaponsmithing is going to be the skill that I take
Okay.
because
So it fits your
it
backstory.
fits my backstory.
And so, if this is for both of you, if at any time you decide that you want to change your skills, we do
And I can
have
go to the island.
we do have an ability to do that. Right, you go to the island and reforge Spirit Forge, Soul Forge,
Soul
that's what it's
Forge,
called.
yeah.
Your character. You gain the ability to do that at certain skill point amounts. Where's my list?
That's nice.
There it is. Okay, so you can do that at 50 skill points. You get one retraining. At 100 skill points, you get a second retraining. At 250 skill points, you get a third retraining. At 500 skill points, you get a fourth retraining. And so retraining is different than soul forging.
Yeah.
So retraining allows you to pick one skill and get rid of it and choose something else.
Okay.
That's nice.
And you get all the skill points back and whatnot.
Evan says no. You need to be barbarian. We need more barbarians in game.
Sorry, man. I know that I have the body of a barbarian, but I have the heart of a bard.
All right.
You could be a barbarian.
A
Come
barbarian.
on, man.
A barbarian, yes.
When I get really mad, I just use my guitar as a weapon.
You just sing some house. You just sing some screamo metal.
There you go.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Forgot about this. Everyone gets a third option.
Oh.
If you don't want The two racial options, you can choose diversified training. Okay, diversified training allows you to use one of the crafting skills. You can use the trained only. So we have like armor polishes for armor smithing, right? There's some that are usable by any, and then there's trained only. So if you get diversified training, you can now use the trained only crafting items from that specific craft. And every level of diversified training, you
Pick a new category.
Pick another category.
Okay.
So that's another option if you want to do that instead. Because that's what I ended up doing. Because I started as an Elentari, I started with dual wield, and then got a two-handed sword. I never dual wielded ever. And so I chose diversified training because I didn't want weaponsmithing because I already had armor smithing. So.
Yeah, see, like I have diversified training, weaponsmith, and armor smith, and what is it? First aid? Is that what they call it?
Medicine.
Yeah. So I have all three of those.
Yeah,
So
and I have
that's-
diversified training in weaponsmithing and alchemy right now.
So that lets me use. Like the reason I took those is because I have armor, and I couldn't use a lot of the armor buffs because they were all trained only, and I was like, yay! Cool, armor buff, have it, because I can't use it. So like I was like, this is dumb. I want to use those. So I spent like 2 or 4 skill points
Yeah,
and got diversified training.
training's
It's way cheap.
Nice.
So in fact, I think that was my first level. Was diversified training. That's what I picked.
Nice.
And that's different than multi-talented. Multi-talented.
He literally just mentioned
Oh.
that. That's so funny. Like as you said the word, that popped up. Multi-talented is a good one too.
Oh, that was one of the ones I was wanting to get, I think.
Yeah, so multi-talented gives you the starting proficiencies of the other talents. So if you're, a rogue and you get multi-talented, you now have the starting proficiencies of a fighter, a mystic, and an arcanist as well. So you get the ability to illuminate and detect magic and wear heavy armor and use a shield and
Okay.
all that stuff. So, but I don't know how many skill points multi-talent is. I don't know. I don't even know. Like,
I have all the stuff pulled up here, so maybe I can find it. If I can find multi-talented.
yeah, that's the hard part. Is that it's like not on the regular list.
So you can use
Oh, yeah,
any
it's-
weapon as anyone, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's one nice thing. They were like, "Hey, we're not gonna," because that's too hard to like restrict.
It really is, and it's one of those like any character, as a human, as a being, pick up the weapon you like to have fun with, because that's gonna help you have fun. The fact that you have to pay for it just annoys me about the other games. Just like that's lame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know where to get the information on multi-talented. Do you know?
Maybe it's in the
Nevitz?
heroes book.
I
but I
don't think
didn't-
I don't
so.
think so. I think it's.
Because it's a regular ability.
Well, let me do a Control F here. Multi-talented.
Oh, look at this guy.
You can do Control F on your phone?
So can you.
I mean, I'm sure I can.
Oh,
I
that's
just don't
right.
know.
You're on a
You're on an iPhone,
your
so-
iPhone. That's right.
Probably
All the
can,
cool people can.
but the rest of us can.
It's
Us
under
Android
utilities.
users. Okay, let's.
I think
You
you're.
said it's under utilities.
It's under utilities.
I found it.
Under whose utilities?
Under there's
Diversified
Chapter
training.
Thank you.
Oh.
I think that's what I picked up, and then I think I retrained out of it.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, right there. Look at that.
Ta-da!
Dun, 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 dun. Multi-talented grants the character the starting proficiencies of all talents they do not already possess. Oh, so that's a diversified training skill. Oh, that's good to know. So you can get diversified training multi-talented.
How much
Instead
is
of-
that? Just curious about the points. I think I
Yeah.
like where I'm at right now, but
Yeah, 'cause I don't.
Diversified
being
training.
using a shield every once in a while is kind of nice.
Diversified training is 2 skill points for level 1.
So cheap.
And then 4 skill points for level 2.
I think it's 2
I
every
think you
level.
only need 1.
You only have
it's-
1 skill point left, so you have to either
Yeah.
wait or.
Yeah, I'll just wait. Because
Wait, can you wear armor as a mystic?
Uh,
I don't know if you can. I think I got that wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I think that's why I
Glad it
took
didn't
it.
matter.
it's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think that's why I wanted to get it, was so I can use armor and use a shield.
Armor and a shield, like that's why I have it, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Good
technically a
disguises
mystic
and
mage too.
Light armor. is
Yeah,
mystic.
so you couldn't wear your skill mail, so
Well, I mean, he could wear it. It just wouldn't count.
yeah, it wouldn't
That'll
count.
work.
It would look cool, but that it wouldn't actually give you any of its benefits. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the things that that Mythic put into play recently, is that you can wear whatever armor you like. You just can't call it like heavier than it is. You can't wear a light armor and call it heavy armor, but you can wear heavy armor and downgrade it. If you think that the heavy armor looks cool, then by all means wear it, but it doesn't give you the benefits of heavy armor if you can't use those benefits.
Makes sense.
yeah. He says you can wear armor, but not heavy. So, and I think yours was medium. So, but that says light. So
Yeah, this says light.
That's
it
fine.
says light.
And then
Yeah, rogues and fighters can use medium.
your
and
first
fighters
game, you
can
get
use
1 point, right?
Well,
You get.
did
get
you
2.
pay? Did you pay 10?
No, it's his first
First
game. It's free.
Oh, okay.
2 skill points.
Okay, so that 2 extra skill points I can get multi.
Yeah, you,
Right.
if you show up Wednesday, you can make your character. You'll have 2 extra skill points, and you can get multi talented.
I can have a shield now.
Yep. So
All
Be
right.
like, here, hold this guy that I'm healing. Oh wait, no, they'd have to have the ability to use the shield, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
you could always just lay it on their body, I guess.
I'll just Baymax people, give them a nice big hug and block with the shield. They're like healing, touching you. Because that works when it's cold.
All right. So let's get back. So, what was your? Oh yeah, weaponsmithing was your racial utility skill.
Weaponsmithing.
So what talent did you choose to go with?
I'm gonna go with rogue.
Rogue. Okay.
As more of a pacifist character, I think it makes more sense than a fighter who would be
Okay.
hands-on. And
Yeah.
as somebody who hasn't LARPed before, like we were discussing before, I think it's probably like D&D that it's easier to start off with a character that's a little less complex.
Yeah.
So a fighter or a rogue seems like a good way.
Okay. So in that, what did you choose as your talent? Your
So I'm-
utility, I mean.
I'm thinking that I want to use, well, for my combat, I think I want to use backstab.
Yep. The answer to that is yes.
For my utility, I'm not sure what I want to use. I'm thinking maybe tinker,
That's cool.
because I think that might kind of fit with my character concept. I mean,
Okay, so I'm going to. You can still make the decision to do both, but so tinkering and weaponsmithing are both crafting skills. It costs money to craft.
And a lot of skill points if you really want to delve into it.
Yeah, so you get production points is what they're called to spend on making items. You get 2 production points in first level. You get, is it 2 or is it 4? 2. First level is 2 production points. Each level 1 item costs 1 production point, but it also costs coin. So you can make 2 level 1 items at level 1 because you have 2 production points. Those production points only count for that specific craft. So you'll get 2 production points for weaponsmithing and 2 production points for tinkering. And they don't overlap. You can't exchange those. So that's something to think about. Like I'm at armor smithing. I just got into artificing, which so all of your crafting goes up to level 5. We haven't talked about crafting yet.
No,
have we?
because it was kind of its own beast.
It is its own beast.
So-
Okay, it's a mini game.
Yeah, and that's why we actually are going to talk about that in season 2, and I've got someone to talk about it already.
Yeah,
but-
so I'll just give you a brief overview.
yeah, we'll just
Okay, so crafting goes up to level 5, and at each level you get new things that you can make, and you get additional production points, The production point cost goes up with each level, but you also get more production points with each level. So the first level you get 2 production points. Second level you get 4. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. And
Yeah, see, Nevitz even agrees. She said, I'd use the other utility for something other than crafting.
So based on the character concept I presented, what do you guys recommend is a good utility skill?
What are they?
I've got, for a rogue, there's Waylay, Quick Search, Pickpockets and Conceal, Disguise, Hide, Dual Wield, Alchemy, and Tinker.
Alchemy is also a production skill, so I would stay away from that.
I need
Wait.
Waylay.
Waylay's kind of nice, too.
Waylay's like a knockout skill, right?
But I have to be behind them. You have to
Yeah.
be able to see their shoulders for like 10 seconds or something. But, and if you're going to be backstabbing, you know what I mean, you're already going to want to be behind them to do your extra damage anyway. So they're kind of 2 skills that go hand in hand. So, but that's up to you. But that's kind of what I would take. Waylay's always been handy.
yeah, so
you could
Waylay
save
knocks
a
him
lot of
out for
people.
10
Waylay's-
seconds. Okay, let me just read it for you. A character with this skill has the ability to render a target unconscious by hitting the target accurately from behind. The attacker must be behind the target and hit the target between the shoulder blades with the normal striking surface of the weapon and call Waylay X, where X is the level of Waylay skill possessed by the character. This skill may only be used with a light weapon, so a short sword or smaller. If the target is hit by the attack and unable to defend against it, the target is rendered immediately unconscious for 10 seconds. There is no limit to the number of times per day you may use this skill, however.
Wow. That's
You must
crazy.
wait
Yeah.
5 seconds between attempted uses of Waylay. Many monstrous creatures are immune to Waylay 1, and a few monsters are immune to Waylay 2. However, only a rare few are immune to Waylay 3. A character who is wearing a helmet is immune to Waylay 1 and may call no effect. When struck, he's immune to Waylay 2
Yep.
as a warden. At Waylay level 3, the character is granted +1 to the level of Waylay immunity. So, for example, a character with Waylay 3 that is also wearing a helmet would be immune to Waylay 2.
Maybe I need to take Waylay so I can be immune to Waylay 3. Because that's the only thing that gets through to me.
The nice thing with those are they're very defensive as well. So if he gets charmed, well, not him because we already established that doesn't work.
If
If
he
she
gets
gets charmed
or
and
betrayed.
or betrayed,
Betrayal.
and she starts going crazy on people, you're gonna be like, hey, take it down.
Yep.
Just put him down and be
And
like, sleep for
What a
sleep it
lot of
off.
people used to do with me before I had my coif, I had a helmet. And before, if I got betrayed, they'd come up and they'd knock
And
my
knock
helmet
your
off
helmet
and
off?
then
Yeah.
waylay me.
That's
Because
the
then
best.
because they knew that I had a higher. But now with the coif, that doesn't work because that's not very easy to take off. So, but it happens all the time. Like I'll get betrayed and I'll just get waylaid.
So that actually sounds like it might make the most sense anyway as a pacifist character, that I would be more inclined to knock somebody out than to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's do
I
that.
agree. All right.
And it's pretty fun. When someone's just annoying and you're just like, you're telling the story wrong, thud. This is how it's told. Bart it up better.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Absolutely.
I like that. So, waylay, and then your combat talent was backstab.
Yeah. So I get 2 combats, is that right? But one has to be tied to my talent.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And like she was saying with him, you don't have to take
So-
another one. You can save the skill points and spend them on something else.
Right. So backstab is the combat skill associated with your talent.
Yeah.
So you can get 1 more combat skill.
Okay, so let's see. I've taken backstab,
What
which
do
is
we have
2.
skill-wise?
I've
Point-wise?
taken weaponsmith, which is 4, so that's 6. And then waylay is 4, so that puts me at 10. So I have 10 skill points left.
Wow.
So I was thinking I want to take days because when you guys talk skills, I just rewatched that, and Crow was like, proceed with caution. Crow was really encouraging the benefits of days. So
Yeah.
Well, while Days is good, I think Trip or not necessarily Repel, but what was the Restrain?
Oh yeah.
Restrain is a really good one.
I had main for a long time. That's one that I retrained because nobody Nobody
No.
ever listens to you. That's the hard part. Sometimes you'll swing your skill,
maim.
and people don't hear you because they're being hit by 4 other people.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right, and they're just not taking that. No one ever takes maim, so I just train out of it.
Yeah, so maybe you guys can help with this too, because when I play games or D&D, I'm like a hoarder with abilities and everything else. And so I'm bad at using things like if I have, like when you were talking about a burst versus a static, I would never use the burst because I'm
That's
always
me.
saving it for the right moment. And then when the right moment comes, I'm still like, there's probably going to be a better moment. So I usually just don't end up using it. So I want more static abilities that are going to be constant than things that I'm going to have to like make the judgment call to use it because I'm just going to save it. That's just how
Right.
I mean,
so like Waylay is great because I'm not limited. You said I can do it as many times as I want. Backstab, I would do the static +2 attacks from behind because same thing. So what are other skills maybe that fit with that?
so none of it says Survivor allows you to half the duration of Waylay and other knockout effects. Is that a utility though?
Yeah, Survivor's a utility
Yeah,
skill.
so-
So,
Could he
Can you
not
double up on
potentially?
backstab?
Could he not potentially just increase his static damage with weapons too?
Yeah.
I guess I could
Yeah, so
take weapon
backs-
proficiency, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could. Backstab and weapon proficiency, that's actually, I started with that combo. So weapon proficiency gives you, at every 5th level, gives you a
+1.
+1 static damage if that's what you choose to take. And
Well,
that's
you
of
get it
course
at level 1 and then at level 6?
at level 5.
or
So
at
level
level
1,
5
level
and
5,
10.
level 10.
Okay.
And so I'm at level 10, so I'm at a +3 static damage.
Wow.
Now, on all of those in-between levels, you just get the strikes. I never used them. For me, it was just, all right, let's spend the points to get to the next level. Because I forget to use strikes.
Yeah.
There's too much going on in combat for me to remember to do that.
Yeah.
So, so with backstab, you do additional damage from behind, and your weapon proficiency and backstrike stack from behind.
So from behind, if I took weapon proficiency level 1, I'd do a +3.
So backstab is +2 from behind. Weapon proficiency is +1.
+1.
Yeah, so he's
yeah.
right.
+3.
So +3 from behind and
So
plus
that seems like
1
a good way to
from
go.
front.
Can
Yeah,
you
that's
use-
more of a static thing, which seems because I'm like you. I hoard abilities. I don't
Yeah.
ever use them.
I just don't.
Can you use?
I
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Can you use strikes on waylay and backstab? So, for
You mean-
instance, like if you had like a couple strikes that you hardly ever use, just use it for when you backstab. So it's just be like add another 3, or does it 6 because of backstab?
If he was using a strike, it would be more damage, but he couldn't use it on the Waylay, no. But on the backstab, he could.
Just check.
Because the
So
Waylay
that
is
makes-
basically
that makes
1,
Waylay
2, or
really
3,
good.
and you're done.
Okay,
That's it. There's no way to boost Waylay, so
that's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. and
But he
his waylay
could
doesn't do
potentially
damage.
do a strike from behind and do extra damage there for sure. So, if he remembers to use it.
Yeah, it's one of those like, for me, it took me a long time to use strikes. I always did it as your first one. That way you always used it. So you're just like, all right, first time I do this, I'm going to open up really big, use it for a little bit, then
Well-
just be done. Because in Mythic, you get them back way fast.
So
You just stand around for 5 minutes and it's back.
yeah, so that's the thing about combat
So
skills
annoying.
is that combat you can use in each combat as long as there's a 5-minute rest in between. So it's not like a utility. Utility is a once per logistics or daily kind of a thing
Yes,
or
yeah.
per session, you know. So combats, I use my combats a lot more often than I use my utility because I get them back after a 5-minute rest. So, like, even though I'm a hoarder, when it comes to combat, I will use them. I will use my parries. I don't use my defenses often because I don't know if they have their own defense. Like,
Yeah.
I need to start using defend a lot more. I usually only use it on death blows and stuff like that because that's, like, huge. You know, oh, kill the one, defend, whatever. So, I would say even when it comes to hoarding, combat skills are still ones that you can use
Yeah.
more often.
So, backstab is just like weapon proficiency. Like
it's
they are
from
the
behind.
exact same thing, except it also gives you a +1 from behind.
If you take
Because
the
you can
yeah.
choose to do just +1 damage
Yeah.
with a backstab.
Yeah, you can do +1 from front or behind.
Okay, now if you choose the just +1 damage, that does not stack with weapon proficiency +1 damage. But if you choose the +2 damage from behind, that stacks with the +1 weapon proficiency.
So that seems the way
damage.
to go.
Yeah.
Because then I get a +1 no matter what, and a +3 from behind. So
Yep.
that's great.
Yeah.
So let's go that way. That puts
Okay.
me at 12. So I still have to use 8.
Yep, you still have 8 points.
You have a
Let's
lot.
see.
Can you just keep buying those over and over
Yep.
again?
Yeah, so is backstab the same way that like every 5th level I get benefit, or
So backstab, yeah, it's every 5th level, and so 2 through 4 give you a strike per battle.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 1 strike per battle at level 2. You get 2 strikes per
a
battle.
strike is like do double?
A strike is +5 damage for 3 attacks or +10 damage for 1 attack.
Or, okay.
So, yeah, so you get at level 1, you have your +2 damage from behind. At level 2, you have your +2 damage from behind and
a
a strike. And then level 3, +2 damage from behind and 2 strikes a battle. Or not a battle, a day? Hold on.
I don't know. I don't use strikes. I have them, I think. I don't even know if I have them.
Do you have to activate your strikes, or is it just the 3?
You just swing it. You don't have to say activate strike. You literally just swing the damage.
Yep.
And
Got
just
it.
know.
So if you have a lot of those, you can just chain that for like one bad guy.
Yeah.
Just be like, all right, I'm gonna use a strike. Here's 3 strikes. Here's 3 more. Here's 3 more. Here's 3 more. And then
It might
That's usually
be,
about how
I
much
think
strikes you
it's
get,
actually per day.
I think it's per day, and I
Yeah,
think
because it's a bonus.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
says note that each bonus use grants you 1 use of strike per day.
got it.
So,
Yeah, strikes all in.
So I guess
It's too much to remember.
yeah.
It is. It's a lot to remember.
I could just go big and use 6 of my 8 remaining points and get Waylay level 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always good.
So maybe I'll do that.
Because like when there's
Okay,
problematic
now that's-
monsters, and this is the best thing, is you'll get ignored being a low level character all the time because they're focused on the guy that actually hurts.
Yeah.
When you don't hurt, you're just like, get up.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing too about Waylay is while they're unconscious, they're considered prone, and you can kill and blow them while they're prone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's to kill people. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's nice because
Well-
every other game got rid of it because it was so good. So you guys did it right by only being able to use that every 5 seconds, which is nice.
Okay, well let's do that. I'll just use level 2, and then that means I have 2 left, right? 2 skill points left.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can just save
To use
those
some other day
to use when you get more. Yep.
on a rainy
Yeah,
day.
but you can parry Waylay.
Yeah.
But the
You
fact
can-
that
yeah, you can
Waylays
How do
do
you
are on,
parry from? I
Parry.
mean, parry from behind.
I don't know.
That's
It
why
just
it's
worked.
parry,
Yeah.
because it's a magic skill. It's a I magically blocked you even though I didn't
Yeah,
really.
this magical sword comes out
Even
of
though I
nowhere
didn't
and
even
says,
know you
"No."
were there.
No. No Waylay for you.
That's okay. Give me 5 seconds.
You can parry,
Yeah, exactly.
evade, or sidestep.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
the
know why you
first
would
thing
use
is like
sidestep.
5 seconds is very quick. Like people will ignore you again because if this guy is fighting me or she's fighting me, she hits a lot harder. I'm gonna ignore them. I'm gonna ignore you as an NPC and just be like, yeah, whatever. And then 5 seconds later, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, whack. Like it's
Okay, now
very
guys,
quick.
get him.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no.
Says- I don't like it, but you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
the parrying from behind is weird, but you can do it.
It makes it better because you used to call it's called walking the line. If you were a rogue and you were fast enough in other game systems, and this is probably why they redid the rule because I know Mythic was based off of the other ones. You can run down and go wait, and knock out an entire line of goblins or humans
Okay.
and just like wrecked everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
thing
it was
is,
bad.
the thing is usually once you do try to use a Waylay, they're gonna turn around and face you at that point in time. So you
And
better-
then you guys will be behind him.
It's
Yeah.
so
like you
you
have
can
my
just-
attention.
Yep, exactly. So it's like even though there's the 5 second thing, they're gonna be like, nope. You tried to waylay me, you're going down. Like,
Then you just need a rogue bud where you can both waylay and the person just spins around. You just
Or I
keep
just
getting
wait until I
backstabs.
hear them use a parry, and then I waylay them.
yeah, you just
What are the odds they have more than one?
a lot, a high.
Yeah.
All right. What?
It's a matter of whether they want to waste it on something that's not going to hurt them immediately. That's
Well, but when it comes to a monster, they're death blow, and so they're gonna use it on them.
Yeah.
They're gonna almost always use it on a waylay.
The nice thing too is like every waylay you do it lets his like other big attacks go in, like slays and other stuff, because they have to parry yours, and when they don't have any more,
Yep.
killed.
Yep. Anything that you can use to waste
Defenses.
you burn through their defenses, and then that's when you start doing your damage. So.
Very
Cool. We can go ahead and minimize that now.
well, there we go.
So,
I'm not gonna lie.
really quick, I wanted to talk to. I'll wait till he comes back.
Wait till who comes back?
Yeah,
Nevitz.
but
Oh, did he
had
leave?
it- yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he already kind of knows what's going on, but I'll wait till he's coming back anyway. But
We should ask Lone Star some questions.
okay. I have a question for you, real quick.
Oh yeah.
Since you do actually LARP, this question does apply to you.
Yeah.
What does LARP mean to you? I ask it to everybody here that plays LARP. Like, what does it mean?
So LARPing, LARPing means to me. So like, what I get out of LARPing is, LARP is where I would go if I wanted to intensify roleplay and live D&D. In my opinion, LARP is cosplay D&D mixed
Yeah.
together with physical activity. So if you can physically do it, you can go physically do it. If you are good enough at talking it out, you don't have to roll a charisma roll. You can just
Do
roll with it and keep going with it. You get to make friends in a setting, like a live setting, where you can be an introvert. This is why I love it. You can be a total introvert, and in LARP, they're the biggest extroverts. Every single one of them is just like, oh, I'm going to get friends, and I'm going to be this person, because it makes you be who you cannot be. Or it's a part of you that you get to bring out and be more of in a setting where everyone is safe, because everyone's doing the same thing. So you can have a character that is a total, what's the way to put it? Jar Jar Binks, where no one likes this person at all. Everyone hates it. It's just like, just go die, please. Please just go die. And in real life, they're the nicest person in the world because they want to play that, because
They don't have that.
they don't have that
life.
ability. Yeah, they're always being the nice person. They want to be the mean person. So LARP is for me being
What's your name?
amplifying certain qualities that I want to play, and just having fun role playing it. For me, it's doing things that I normally can't do in real life. And I play a lot of characters that like to push the envelope, so it's just like, all right, let's see what I can do. I got addicted to it at first because you can be a rogue and you can be stealthy, and as a big 6'4" guy, I'm like, all right, I want to be stealthy, I want to be a rogue, I want to be the waylay guy that sneaks around behind everyone, which I'm like, super hard to do, but because I worked at it, I was able to go rogue a bunch of people in the dark as a big 6'4" guy, and you get to learn all these things. You're like, wow, this is kind of an interesting, cool set. I like it. This is fun. So it's a lot of fun for me. It's the best role playing you can get, in my opinion. It's better than D&D. You just have to physically do it, so it's also more trying than D&D. Lots of naps.
Physical exercise. Lots of naps? I never sleep when I LARP.
That's
Like,
not for fun.
I get no sleep when I LARP.
When you're a high powerful character and you get to take naps all the time, and the town runs in and wakes you up, save us, save us, save us. You're like, I feel like a grandpa.
I agree.
Low level characters are way better.
So funny. That's awesome.
All right. So real quick, now that Nevitz is back, I wanted to talk to my few subscribers that I have. I finally have a sub. Well, it's being approved right now. Well, hopefully it's being approved. I finally have a sub emote. It's not there yet. Basically, the emote is the shield.
Nice.
So, yeah. So you guys will soon be, anyone that's subscribed to me will be able to use that special, unique emote on my channel and on other channels. I believe I've seen people use them on other channels.
Yep. You can use your own and anybody you're subscribed to on any channel.
Well, that's
So, for
So-
example, I can use my puppy mode here, right now.
Yep, there he goes. There's his. That's his emote for his channel. So, but yay, yeah. So, like that, yeah. Like that's especially, and that's Bacon is Nevitz is specific for his channel, so he can use that. So, and I guess that's yours.
What does it say?
Looks
Hi.
like oh,
It's got the claws. It's still the old one.
oh okay.
I changed the logo.
From here, it looks like a cow's udder. It's just like a bunch of little.
That's not what it looks like
Yeah,
at all.
those-
it does from this far back.
Yeah, it does. See,
I was wondering. I'm like, What does that mean?
I know
Yeah,
it looked like a paw to me, like a paw with claws.
Yeah,
That's why I was
I'm
like,
too
wait,
far
that
away.
says something.
Now it looks like a cow
I'm too
with
far
black
away.
eyes.
Move. So,
Yeah. All right. Sweet. That's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I mean, we can probably show it.
Once it's. Oh yeah, sure.
Can we?
You can just
Do you
pull
have
the
the
image
file
off of your
somewhere?
disc. We do have the file on your Discord.
Oh, Outlanders, you kill me for logging into his Discord.
Um,
You take everything.
Pasting the game turkey.
So while she pulls that up, other than I know that you were already kind of interested in LARP before my talk show. What got you interested in LARP, initially? I know you still haven't come to play yet, but
Well-
you had some inkling of what it was, which is why you came to the talk show. So how did?
I mean, I played D&D a lot, and so I used to not understand quite what LARP was. I thought it was just kind of what you do, like the combat thing but with fake weapons, and I didn't think that there was a role
More
play
like
aspect behind it,
Amsgard,
which
Beldarth.
I didn't quite. I don't know why I didn't realize that, given that live action role play. I should have made the connection, but I didn't. But the dumbest reason that I really knew what it was is I watched Supernatural, and
Yes.
Charlie from Supernatural was into LARP, and so that's how I found out what LARP was. And so when you mentioned that you were doing a podcast on it, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to find out about a local one and learn how it really works, because at that point I realized that there was the combat aspect, but there was the role playing, live action D&D kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which I mean, I like D&D a lot anyways.
Yeah, it's the best because then you get costumes like this that look amazing, and the D&D moments where you're all role playing. You don't have that pause button. You're like, oh crap, guys, what do we do? You literally have to answer it at the moment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is the best, but also the worst because you have
So
that person in your party that Leroy Jenkins everything, and you're just like, someone knock him out.
Oh no, they did that to me at one of the weekenders.
That's smart.
We had a couple of undead come into town, and they came in specifically looking for me, and we were trying to convince them to join the light side instead of the dark side in the fight against Telswar. Do you remember this? The three undead that came in, and one of the undead made me vow as a knight to protect him and make sure that he wasn't killed, otherwise he wasn't going to come into town and talk to us at all. And so I did, but the guy was a complete asshat. And he was like, all right, I'm leaving and I'm going to go join Tal Segor and y'all are dead and you're going to be my fodder and blah, 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 blah. And he looks at me and he's like, are you going to make sure I get out of town safely like you vowed? And as a white knight, I have to. And so I was like, all right. I'm like, no, guys, don't touch him. Don't touch him or I'll attack you. And people are like, can't let him walk away. And I'm like, I know, but what am I supposed to do? So they knocked me out.
Really? Yep.
They knocked me out and they killed him. No, they didn't waylay me. They knocked me out. I was down for 5 minutes. So when I came up, he was already dead. And I was like, oh, all right, thanks for that. Because they're like, aren't you upset that they knocked you out and they made you break your oath? I'm like, I didn't break my oath. I couldn't defend him. I was unconscious.
Can't do
What was
I
I
can't
supposed
do.
to do? Like, well, heal him. I'm like, I don't have any healing abilities. Like,
Yeah, that's
what am
true.
I supposed to do?
Go get a healer, I guess.
I'm like, and necromancy is illegal. And that's how you would get him back up. So, yeah, no, it was good.
Plus, I feel like you can go pretty deep into the money hole in D&D, and I feel like you can in LARP too. But at least in LARP, you can show off this cool armor to non-D&D people or non-LARP people, and it's still cool.
Right.
But if I spend a bunch of money on some really cool dice and I show them to somebody who doesn't give a crap, they're like, "You wasted $30 on those dice," and I'm like, yeah.
So
Lightning bolts.
on Halloween I wore this, and in between locations I didn't take it off because it's just too much of a pain in the butt. So we decided to go get some food real quick because we hadn't eaten yet, and I'm in the drive-through window and I'm paying, and the guy sees my armor, and without even it was almost like he was mesmerized, like he had to reach out and touch it, and that's exactly it. He's completely uninterested, and he's like, "Well, that looks cool," I could tell he liked it because he reached out and touched it without even saying anything. And if I wasn't used to that, I might have been weirded out, but I'm totally used to it. I get touched a lot.
Yeah.
But Nevis has a good point. LARP costuming weapons can be expensive, but don't let that deter you from playing. There are plenty of people who would be willing to lend your gear to help you get started. It doesn't matter if your costume isn't perfect right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a friend come over to my birthday party on Friday. She was going Saturday morning to go play her first PC LARP character. And I was like, hey, just come over to my birthday party and I will get you geared up. And we got her a full costume, just stuff I had in my basement, costumes that I've done before or whatever, just leftover stuff. And I was like, hey, do you have a staff? Because she wants to be a staff wielder. And she's like, oh yeah, Marley's letting me borrow his staff. And I was like, all right, sweet. So she didn't put in a dime for her costume. And she's going to look freaking awesome.
See, and for a while, I used someone else's shield. I didn't have a shield for a very long time, and I just kept using someone else's shield. That's actually how I came about my mace, is because I had a sword that I was borrowing, and then I decided I wanted to use a mace, and I had a mace that I borrowed, and then I ended up buying the mace from the guy I borrowed it from. Or I didn't. Nevis bought it to me for Christmas.
That's awesome.
So,
And then you can get hoarders as well, where it's like, hey, you're a new person, you fit some of my stuff, I have like 5 characters. What look do you want to go for?
Yeah.
And then just go with it that way.
And also, another thing, at least with Mythic, so I'm the quartermaster at Mythic, and we have tons of costuming. We have a lot of costuming. And if you ever want to come by and just say, hey, I'm looking for, a costume for this type of character, I'd be like, all right, come on over and we'll let you go through our stuff and you can borrow. Mythic absolutely lets their PCs borrow costuming gear.
yeah.
So.
And talking with Aerostar, he mentioned, or Jovi, he mentioned that, you've all kind of said that lots of people will NPC until they've got enough skill points that they're ready to jump in as a player character. But he also mentioned that NPCing, they supply everything. So
Yeah.
I can go, I can learn the ropes, I can have, be into it. And in the meantime, I can save money and I can put together my own costume and
you get to
build skill points.
Yeah.
And then when the time comes, I jump in with
And you
both
get to
feet.
learn how the combat works, and you get to learn, the different skills and what type of play you like to do. Do you like
Yeah.
to be a caster? Do you like to be melee? Do you, do you want to heal? Those are all great things that you get to learn while NPCing. It doesn't cost you anything. They provide all the costuming. You just come in whatever's comfortable. I know at Alliance, they prefer their NPCs to come in nondescript black clothing. But at Mythic, we don't care. Just
I
come.
think the only thing at Mythic is they just don't like blue jeans. Just because that kind of ruins the immersion
Yeah.
a little
It's
bit.
hard
Other
to get
than that,
costumes and blue jeans.
yeah, other than that, I think Mythic has been pretty
Yeah.
just kind of whatever. Because our tabards cover most of it, so we don't really give a hoot. But
When you first start, there's nothing greater in this world than being a crunchy. It is a low-level character that doesn't have a lot of abilities where you're just going to die over and over and over and over and over again. But that is the funnest thing in the world because you know you're going to die, and it doesn't matter if you die. So you walk up, annoy someone, they kill you. You walk over to another person, annoy that person, they kill you. You walk over to another, and you're like, I learned this one ability because this is the only ability I had, so now I know how this one works. And you do that for every single one. And if you tell your game runners, just be like, hey, I want to learn how to abilities. Can I play a crunchy with just one ability? Can I have it 4 times?
Yeah, and
Most
we
of them
have
are pretty nice.
a lot of times if there are complicated NPC characters to play that have a lot of abilities, and you're like I just can't do that, they'll give you exactly that. They'll give you so if it's a fire elemental, they'll give you a fire wisp where you just cast this one thing. That's all you do. You've got 10 skill points and you just respawn every minute.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
So Nevit says, also, don't think you need to come into game as a high skill point character either. I have tons of fun with my under 30 skill point character when I play him. And that's true. I mean, I came in high skill points, but that's pretty rare. Most people don't.
Yep.
I just spent lots and lots and lots of time in NPC because I had fun with it. Like, for a while, I didn't ever want a PC. I was like, no, I'm just having fun playing monsters. But then eventually, I had enough of my character fleshed out that I was like, all right, now I want to play him. You know, so it took me a little while, but once I got things fleshed out, and then I was like, all right, now I have the vision. Now I'm ready to play him because now I'm excited for playing him. So
Yeah, and I'd say do both because the game is very different for each one. The NPC, you're like always hustling bustle, but you're changing, you're flowing. It's a lot more laid back on the roleplay wise, unless you're playing a lot of roleplay roles. And then the other one is you're very involved, you're very in with every single person. It's a different kind. So like you get more role playing as a player, you get more fun combat, death, monster kind of things as the NPC. And each one is a very different experience, and both of them I think should be tried because you might not like one, you might love another. I have a friend that he does sword fighting with me, doesn't like playing a player character. Man, he loves playing an NPC. He's like, I'll go out there and die 1,000 times. This is fun. His wife, on the other hand, she can't play an NPC. She's like, no, I wanna be the towny person. I wanna sell stuff, and that's a lot of fun.
Nikolai started as a 20 skill point character.
Yep.
I think they all did, and that's why they were all shocked that they survived as long as they did.
Yeah.
But they came in. They'll talk about that next week, but the dichotomy that is the Gyarados. But
Like these are the guys that were like planning their characters to die, right?
Yeah.
I love these guys so much.
Yeah, they were planning on their characters not living very long because they were total jerks.
Yeah, no, I think I need to talk with these guys and be like, I'm the long lost Gyarados person.
long lost Gyarados.
I don't know if that would go well, but like I need to talk to them. But I love that. I think that would be great.
Yeah, he was they were all expecting to die, but we'll talk about that next week a whole lot. So, because next week is an evening with the Gyarados. We'll talk about that just real quick. But yeah, so, you already talked about this a little bit, like some of your misconceptions about LARP. Because of the talk show, what other misconceptions or myths have we been able to break through for you?
I mean, I think the biggest one, like I said, is just understanding that it's a lot more roleplay heavy than I did before. I think that's probably the biggest one, and I guess it probably depends on what LARP you're playing with. It does. But as far as I can tell with Mythic, you guys try to be very like period specific in your attire and in your costuming and stuff. It's not like a bunch of people like build things like, I don't know, have cardboard armor that they're. I mean, maybe you do, but it looks nice if that's the case.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a standard. It's like
you have a standard for good things looking good, but on the other end, you guys are also not like. You seem to not be so strict that it's like oppressive for somebody who's coming into it.
We want to encourage people to come and play regardless of your ability. Like even if you can't pay all the time and you want to PC, we encourage you to still come and PC and then work out with us, like, hey, just take this many NPC shifts or an NPC shift every so often or a payment plan or whatever works for you. We really want to encourage people to come play. Like we said, everyone's willing to lend gear to get people dressed and looking like their character. A lot of people in game too are really good about like, oh, you're the new guy. What can we do to help you? We'll give you a boon of the apprentice. Well, here's some potions, armor buff. Here's a fortification buff. Whatever things to help you get started, because so many of us are higher skill point characters, and we want to make you not feel useless. And welcome you into the game. We really want people to come and play.
And that was the thing that I really liked with Mythic this Wednesday when I played. I came in, and from what I heard, all the Gyarados are 2,000 build point characters, so they're like way beyond human capability levels that have played for like 20 years. And I started as a first level character and legitimately felt very, very, very useful. Different way and thought process on it, but it was one of those, like, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm running around with a bunch of gods. Why is Bruce Banner running around instead of the Hulk here? Like, what am I going to do as the Avengers as Bruce other than go, hey guys, here's this cool idea? But like, it was nice because you felt needed and useful, because just the balance of it. And it's fun because like you can sit, and I only used one ability. I just healed people, but like I felt useful because I had to go talk with someone. And some people would feel like, oh, I don't feel as useful as they normally do. But like that's kind of on like how you want to go up and roleplay it. Because you can just go there to roleplay and not be useful, but like as a bard, you're always useful because you can play the inspirational song, and you're just like, all right. And if you're good at like pulling lyrics out of your ass, it's the best. Because then you start making fun of someone, like, I'm behind the blue scale knight, ha ha ha. And I don't know. I just, I'm not good at it.
You're like, I am not a bard.
I want to be. It's a dream, but it's,
Like-
I'm not going to be that bard.
And she mentioned like the boon of the apprentice. There's also boon of the journeyman. Anyone that can do those, at least in my opinion, or at least in my experience, has never charged for that. Like there normally is a fee for that. They've never charged. Occasionally they're like, well, I don't have all the components. As long as you can give me the components, I'll do it for free. So I've had that happen just a few times, and I usually ask around. I'm like, hey, I need some components for boon of the journeyman. Boom, done.
Yeah.
So-
So Boon of the Apprentice is a boon that you can get up until 100 skill points. And then Boon of the Journeyman you can get up until 200 skill points. Right? Or is it 300?
300.
300 skill points.
So 100 to 200 is apprentice. Or up to 200
Up
is
to-
apprentice.
Oh, up to 200 is Apprentice?
And then
Okay,
200
that's
to
right.
300 is journeyman. And then after that, there's nothing.
Right. It's just kind of some bonuses to help boost your
Wait.
character's health
Yeah,
and
that was
damage.
nice.
No, it's the other way around. You're right. 200 is 200 and below 100 to 200 is journeyman. Because I'm only barely over 200. No, I am 300.
As Jovi, you better be over 300.
Yeah, because I'm level 3 warden. I have to be.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm almost 400.
So 200 to 300 is journeyman.
We're playing golf score.
So,
Look at that, you already got a job.
yeah, he says, I would pay for someone to follow me and narrate my career.
Oh my gosh.
Is that a good
Could you
SD?
imagine Zisto? I think you'd get annoyed as Zisto. Nikolai probably, but Zisto would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So, yes, that is the
Another
game.
misconception is that there's a difference between the LARP and like a Renaissance fair, which both are cool. Like I think a Renaissance fair is super cool, but they were always kind of coupled in my mind, and like the regularity with which you guys do it and stuff makes it clear that it's not that.
Yeah. And there are a lot of LARPs that will only do it once a month. There's some like really, really big fancy
Hold
LARPs
on.
that will only do once a season.
Music is playing right now, and they probably won't hear us over it on the podcast. I don't. Yeah. It took it forever to recognize. Like,
The Brave Samurai. No,
so when
he's
that
not.
shows up, music gets played, and last time it was overpowering,
there's
and they
a-
couldn't hear us. But
There's a scale of LARPs that I always tell people, and there is a LARP out there for everyone. Legitimately, airsofting is Milsim LARP. It's just less roleplay. And you can have ones that are very much roleplay oriented, all the way up to very combat oriented. So in this state, we have your large roleplay ones, which is like Mythic, and like Alliance, and then you have ones. Rexeret.
Rexeret, yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard that one. That's cool. And then you have ones that are a step more combat-y, which are like
Amtgard.
Belagarth.
Well, Belagarth is more combat-y, no role-playing. They don't do a lot of role-playing in there. They're basically like, we're going to play stick sword fighting with foam weapons.
Like
And
what
then
you
you-
assumed LARP was before, right?
Correct.
Like,
Those are the guys you usually meet in the park that are like half-dressed and whatnot. And they're very much into the combat oriented. They get pretty hard. And then you scale and go up to like fencing in HEMA, where you start entering your metal weapons. Where you have like fencing, HEMA, and then like SCA, which is, they're gonna hate me. SCA is super LARP. They just don't do as much role playing with it. They're more historically accurate, but they are dressing up and reenacting something else that happened in ancient times. That's a LARP. Your live action role playing something in the past. It's just less role playing as story wise. They're more for the arts and crafts, and then you can go upscale more to that for like more combat-y and less role playing, depending on what scale that you want. And as D&D people, the best one is right at that Mythic Alliance one, because it's cosplay D&D. You're going for D&D, but you're doing it instant live. It's a fun camping trip, because like I always said, the worst LARP event is a good camping trip or a good walk with friends. Just dressed up, because let's be honest, dressing up is fun.
Yeah.
When you look like that, it looks amazing. It's like, yes, I look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he agrees. It is super large. He agrees. So,
About whenever you're ready for it.
oh yeah. So this is what the email looks like, everybody. Just real quick. Ta-da! Except there's no white background.
I'm so excited.
So
Looks
That looks
great.
so cool.
now your shield's gonna be famous.
Your shield.
Well,
but-
you made it.
Any little stickers here of how many big nasties you've killed?
Yeah, that's right. You should.
Let's go on the back. You got to be on the front because you got to intimidate people. So be like,
Yeah.
this is your undead area. This is your big elemental area. This is your evil human warlord type area. And these are like your god tier levels.
Hey, proceed with caution. How you doing? Don't have to worry about it. That's Crow. He was.
I met
NPC.
Crow.
He did meet
Yes.
Crow. He came in real quick, but
Yeah.
you met Crow. He was NPCing a lot last week too, though. So,
Yep. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see what else with starting a character. So, do you have gear or anything? Any plans for costuming?
I mean, I have some stuff from like I cosplayed like my D&D character last
There you go.
for a convention and last Halloween. So I have some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have? So with Elentari, the makeup requirement for Elentari
I will need to buy some elf ears.
is ears, and then it's not required, but is an option, is to do a tattoo on your arm.
Oh, that's cool.
So
but most people have long sleeves, so you never see it.
yeah, like well,
if I was an Alantari, you'd never see it.
yep. And the same thing with Lita, except for in the summer before I got my samurai-ish costume, I wore short sleeves, and so I would. But then when I went undead, I was like, meh, I don't need to do that anymore. I have
it's
undead
rotted
makeup
off.
now.
Rotted off.
It's rotted off. That's terrible.
Pretty much.
Well, there was
That's
that.
why I stopped wearing my ears too. I used to wear my Elentari ears as undead, and it looked super cool, especially with my mohawk. But I don't do that anymore because ears are a pain, and I wear a bandana anyways that covers my ears. So
Well, we always have that joke that when it gets super hot, your skin starts sloughing. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
because when I start sweating and my makeup starts coming off, I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's just my skin's just melting.
that's what we get.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what we say. So,
So that's cool. So yeah, and then starting weapons, buffers are totally fine, and super cheap and easy to make. Or if you want to borrow, a nice latex weapon from people, or borrow buffers from Mythic, or I have a bunch of buffers.
I mean, when we say, are we talking unpainted, like legit
like
PVC foam and duct tape?
Yeah.
Because I got
Yes.
some of those.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
You just
So
have to bring them in and make sure that they're
Safe.
safe,
safe.
because there's a bunch of different ways to make
Yeah,
them.
you've got to do.
You got to do the stabbing tip. You got to make sure that you can't feel the core. There's a whole ritual involved in making sure that they're safe.
When you get into it, you find friends that love you, like he said, out of Boji, or what was his name?
Poji's my brother. Yeah,
Poji.
in game.
And he got him the shield and the mace thing. There is latex guitars out there. And every bard.
Functional
Yes.
guitars?
Yes.
Really?
And there's a couple people that make weaponry. She made a great steampunk clock-looking weapon thing. You make friends with that, you start playing, you're like, I want a latex guitar. And that's your weapon.
Do you just take a real guitar and then how do you even make a functional latex guitar?
Well, you would have
PVA foam.
if you wanted it
It would
to
probably
actually
be smaller
make
too, right?
sound.
It would have functioned. It would have functioned.
Oh, okay. Non-functional.
You'd have
I
to. I mean, you could
Oh,
put
functional
a
as a weapon.
Yeah, functional as a weapon.
as a
My
weapon.
bad.
You could put a speaker device in it,
Yep, that would work.
and as long as that speaker was padded well enough, you could
Do that.
do that.
That
Yeah.
could be actually pretty easy to do, actually.
Yeah,
When you
sure.
think of it, 'cause you can do it in the pommel, and you can always have the pommel removed, and you can have a thin Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there's lots of.
Life
Oh,
goals.
I'm ready.
Proceed with caution says whole new brand of axe. And I kind of agree with Beckerdom. We should explain boffers a little bit. You did real quick kind of, but basically a boffer is you take a PVC, just kind of a PVC pipe, 1 inch or whatever, 3/4 inch, and you put a pool noodle, which, you know, just put a pool noodle around it, glue it, and then you just kind of tape around the pool noodle. We found it's best to do it lengthwise
not
because otherwise you compress it too
spiral
much and you lose the padding. And then in the tip you usually have some, what kind of foam is that in the tip? It's open
cell.
open cell foam in the tip,
basically like
just in
couch
case.
cushion foam.
Yeah, couch cushion, not like nicer higher end like sleeping bag foam pads too, not the
Yeah.
skinny ones. But so that's basically what a boffer is. So when we refer to boffers, that's basically what we're
Duct tape
referring
weapon.
to, the duct tape weapon.
Duct tape foam weapon. A lot of people use pool noodles as the foam. You can also use pipe insulation.
Yeah, pipe insulation.
So how about if I wanted to do ranged combat and I have like a crappy bow that I used for a costume? You guys talked about that last week, right? So you just have to have a large blunt tip on an arrow, and
It's
it has to be a bow with
Let me see if I can pull it.
the
Less than
maximum draw is what, I think
30
you guys said
pounds.
30 pounds.
30
Yeah.
pounds.
I love that, guys, it's arrows.
A lot of people when they made those too is they would tape like a penny or they would glue like a penny or a quarter so that it prevents the tip of the shaft from piercing through because it gives it a wider surface area. So I've never actually made one, and from my understanding, they're fairly cheap to buy online.
Yeah.
I was
So
talking
that's
to
what they look like.
I was
Oh,
talking
okay.
to Kane, and he was saying he could buy like 20 or 30 for like $10.
yeah, it's
And
like,
then that's almost more than you need. Like, so
Actually, I have a whole kit to make probably 50 arrows. They just need to be assembled. I have
yeah?
all the stuff, and well, Mythic has all the stuff, and they're like, anyone who will actually use these can have them. Who will actually put them together, because none of our NPCs will use the arrows, because it's too much
It's
maintenance
so
on
hard.
our part. So,
there you go.
but we have all the
I'm-
stuff to make the arrows.
I'd probably do that too because I love your guys' archery. Love it. Because archery is different in different games. That like I found the boffer style arrows with the penny tip and everything with the 30 draw bow pretty fine. Just don't aim for the face.
Yep.
You'll never care about it. Right?
Yeah.
The other LARP I do is a stupid packet full of birdseed. It's pathetic. It's like
So that's what you
basically
guys
our
do for
archery.
spells.
Yeah, our
it's
spell
basically a poopy spellcaster.
So proceed with caution says when my arrows ended up being about $5.60 a piece with a bundled discount.
Yeah,
So
that's way cheap actually because you pull shaft as well.
yeah. So just to give you an idea on something like that. So you've been pretty good about asking questions, but do you have like when you're on, watching? But is there any questions that you have now that are a lot, that required a lot of typing that maybe you didn't type or?
I don't think so. If I care enough about a question, I'm not too lazy.
Yeah, you've been pretty good. I just didn't know if you had any
I've
after
asked
today,
quite a
but
few.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so some of the big things to consider when you are like kitting up, gearing up to come to LARP for the first time is make sure your shoes are comfortable. We like people to have like costume accurate shoes, but we also would rather you not hurt yourself. So
well, and I recommend above the ankle shoes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we go off trail a lot.
Oh yeah.
And we're in the bushes and we're, running through uneven fields. And so something that'll support your ankle is
Cold weather gear.
huge.
Yeah.
Cold weather gear, plenty of pairs of socks. Layers. Layers is a huge thing because sometimes it'll be really, really cold, but then you get into combat and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm dying of heat. And to be able to just take some layers off helps a lot, or just add more layers on.
Or stuff like this, you can showcase your
This is my
wonderful
birthday
LARP
present.
blanket.
This was my birthday present from my husband, and it is a blanket that is hooded.
So if you get something thick like this, it makes it really easy for one layer to come off. Because whenever you're cold, when in combat, you can just shed it and still move around pretty accurately. And then when you get cold again, you just toss it back on. And they always look cool.
You get all.
And you have like a big fur blanket. And you can get it like, for mine, I went to the DI and I found a nice fur blanket on the outside, and it had like flannel on the inside, which doesn't matter because once you pin it together,
You don't
it's
see the
fine.
flannel.
You don't see it, so it looks like this nice, super white
Is that
fur
your warm
blanket. Yeah, that's the white one.
It's pretty warm.
So,
Yeah.
proceed with caution says, yes, footwear is the biggest factor when enjoying LARP, and I agree with that. And then Nevin says, so is Lone Star joining us at the next event?
Why not at the next one? I'll have an easier time coming to like a weekend event because we live in Logan.
Yeah.
Like,
You should come to
guys start
Winterfest.
When
Oh,
you
yeah,
s-
we'll do Winterfest. I would say do that.
When's that?
February
February-ish.
sometime. I don't think they've got a date set yet, but they will fairly soon because they
Yeah.
usually schedule that way in
Because
advance.
it's a 2-day event, and like everybody comes to, even people that don't really play much anymore, everybody knows about Winterfest, and people will come back just to play at Winterfest. So
I mean,
There's-
I'll have a 2-month-old at that point, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
We have a baby coming in December, so
Oh, congrats.
thank you.
Proceed with caution also says hydration in the summer is key too.
yes.
Definitely,
bottles,
yeah.
water
Get like a
bottles.
water bottle satchel or something to hold water bottle for sure. I'm terrible about that. Nevin says, especially if you LARP in leather armor, he's talking about the layers for the cold because the leather armor gets pretty cold. It doesn't really insulate very well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, my metal armor does. It's cold as crap to the touch, but
But
it
on the
insulates.
inside,
Yeah,
you're
it
pretty
actually
warm.
insulates you pretty. Like this Wednesday.
Your body warms the inner metal.
Yeah, like
And the
this,
inner metal warms your body back.
This Wednesday, I had thermals on and on my arms and on my legs. The only thing that got cold was my hands. Like I was actually pretty fine.
Yeah, I didn't get cold at all except for my face. My face was
Oh, my face was
so
freezing.
cold I couldn't speak.
You
It
weren't
was
there at
numb.
the end. I was like, I feel the koi freezing to my face. Like it was getting pretty bad. And then at the very end, Proceed says, "Oh, that's Lone Star. What's up, man?" 'Cause he's
I'm
seen
Lone
you-
Star. What's
he's-
up?
He's seen you in chat a few times. So.
Yep,
And you've seen him.
I have. Yep. I talked about you earlier. You just missed it because you were late. So that's what you get, loser. No, just kidding.
Whoa, whoa.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Shots fired.
No, I was just. I almost took days because you were speaking so highly of it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then
I was
ended
frozen.
Up
Yeah, I
not
bet you were,
because-
as Nikolai.
Yeah, the poor Gyarados. Well, except for Bethany's character, she showed up way bundled up.
Yeah.
She was all warm, but yeah. So definitely keep in mind cold winter. Although,
Was the one with
The steampunk top hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Nikolai.
Although-
so much fun.
although mostly in the winter, excuse me. Well, mostly in winter we play at Castle of Chaos, which is
Yeah.
indoors, so we usually don't have to deal with the cold as much.
Yep.
This Wednesday was kind of a fluke
because it's
of
in the middle of the Halloween season, and so they were running their haunt.
one. This was that week where it got randomly super cold.
Oh, super cold. It was
So-
like
Very
single
cold.
digits outside
Yeah,
while we were out there.
it was way cold. So
Yeah, you'll have to go back and watch the video on demand. We both made characters earlier in this podcast.
yep, he
so
made a character.
I made a character.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be
He
fun.
made a
He
character.
is.
Your
he
character's
is.
gonna be fun.
He is Flynn the Elentari.
Yep.
So he made a character. So
The Lone Star.
Do we
I
want
will
to give like
shower
a
you in
recap
beautiful
of what
music.
everybody ended up with?
Your last name should be Lone Star.
who's the other guy?
I
So
sh-
who's the
my
other
last name
guy?
should-
My name is
Star.
Kai, or Buddy.
You did see him on Wednesday.
Yep, I was the guy with the big horns. That
Oh,
I
and-
thought was a demon.
Yeah.
Maybe I was.
And by the way, Crow, you'll find this funny. He is starting a fund and a campaign to get Jovi made sheriff.
Yep. And
So
then-
Crow
With
was the
ulterior
sheriff.
motives.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you always have to have alternative motives.
He doesn't really care about him being sheriff so much as he cares about how that could get necromancy legal.
Yeah, no, my goal is to make necromancy
He
legal on the
says,
land.
"Good luck."
It'll be great.
I was too cold to roleplay with you at the last event. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was cold.
It was cold.
Stupid cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Utah.
And it was just this week too. We just had this random cold snap week, like
So random.
way
Record-
cold.
Of course, the
cold.
week of
Yeah,
Halloween.
record breaking. Like, but that night specifically, Wednesday was in like the 20s or something. It
popsicles.
was cold.
Yeah. So were all these guys there on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yep. So far,
I
everyone
know
in chat
who
has
Crow
been-
is. He was an
All of
NPC.
The active chatters.
Nikolai's the yellow one, right?
No,
The pink one?
Pink one.
Yep, Mecrodon.
Nice. Nikolai was fun. And then the light one, I can't read it.
The green one, Nevitz Gaming.
Stratobot or
Oh,
Stratobot?
the
Oh,
No,
that's
that's just my
that's
bot.
just his bot,
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then Nevitz
Just showing love.
Gaming was Boji.
hugging
The big
people
hammer.
and stuff.
The big two-handed hammer.
Oh, yeah. With the barbarian.
His brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I've met Boji before, actually. The character that plays him. Friends with
Character.
Katie? I think so.
Yeah, do you know Katie?
Katie? Katie Face.
Jeff. And then.
Oh, Jeff's coming back.
Yeah. We talked Jeff into coming back. He's going to bring in his character at Winterfest.
Yeah, no, because of this Wednesday, I've talked to a lot of the people in Alliance, and there's going to be a lot of people coming to Winterfest because I'm just like, guys, they play on a weekly. Like, it's super nice to play on a weekly.
He says, yes, I know them. And Mario Reynolds says, cool Dragon Mail. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Marlo Reynolds. Hi, Marlo.
Oh, Marlo. Oh, that is an L.
Welcome.
Welcome to the talk show.
Yeah, Marlo.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. Hopefully, you'll get a big Winterfest bombardment.
So we were talking about things that are important for like new characters. Another thing that I would say to think of is the real, how realistic it is to wear the armor that you want. Because I can tell you right now, this armor is very hard to LARP in. There's the typical restrictions, like I can't bend over to pick stuff over, like that's pretty typical of armor, but just because of how heavy it is, like it drains me. Like I didn't wear it during the summer months at all because it was just too hot. Because this insulated way too much and it actually like radiates heat, and I was like, I didn't wear it. Even if that meant being super squishy, I didn't care. I would rather not be overheated and dehydrated. So yeah.
I think, like, there's something that I've been wondering a lot and trying to think of, but as someone who fights in actual armor, like legit armor, know, it's amazing. Like, it's pretty much bulletproof. I think in LARPs, they need to upgrade that a lot. Maybe a guy giving you like a cap of damage you can take, where it's just like, hey, you could only take 4 damage because armor works. Like, it works really, really well.
Well,
Because, like, if you have to wear that around and run around and keep everyone else, you're already fighting at a disadvantage.
yeah.
It should give you a big enough advantage to actually make it worthwhile. That way you can't have that knight at the front that's just like, I'm wearing 100 pounds of full plate.
I am
Bring it.
literally a tank.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so it's one of those, like, it should reflect in the tank abilities by giving just that gap of, like, changing from, like, hey, your penalty is you can't bend over, you can't move really fast, you get really tired, you're not going to be fighting at your capabilities, but you should be able to tank it like a boss because you're in a ton of armor.
well, and there is a class that would help me tank like a boss, but I'm not going that class. Like that's the thing. Like I'm still on the fence with what my second class will be, but
Class, cool.
but Aegis is a class that if I took Aegis, I would be, especially in this armor, I would be ridiculous.
So, Mythic does give you one benefit of wearing real armor, and that is you get
Extra
double
hit
the points
Oh, that's
for your
nice.
armor. So his, instead of getting 1 point for the back and 1 point for the front, he gets 2 points.
Well, that's only because it's magical now.
Yeah. Well, and then if
Masterwork.
you
Masterwork
have
gave me
all,
If I get 1 extra hit point if I have everything that's period materials,
Oh, nice.
which is why I have to wear the coif now. She made me an awesome. Well, she retrofitted my helmet and made my
he
foam
made
helmet.
himself a helmet, and I remade it.
She made it better.
I was
But
like,
I
let me
don't
fix
wear it
that for
anymore
you.
because I lose a hit point if I do. And 1 hit point in Mythic makes a big difference.
Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
And actually, it's 2 hit points because I wouldn't have
The helmet.
the helmet. Yeah, so it's kind of complicated. But yeah, so Marla Reynolds says it's a tough trade-off, and it is. But like, I do actually have a damage cap in this. I cannot take more than 5 damage in this, unless it's force or pass, like we were dealing with this week. So I can do something called Hunker Down, which lowers it to 3.
Oh, that's cool.
But nothing will ever lower it below 3, and I
Right.
kind of wish, because
3 is
of how
the
hard
limit.
this is to wear and like how good it looks, that they would be like, yay.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I think that we're going to be talking more about, especially because that's something that I've noticed since I started playing. It's something that a lot of people have pointed out, and like, it's not a lot of people will just do arcane armor because they're like,
because
it's not worth it to wear
It's not,
actual armor.
yeah, like,
And I'm sorry, but you just don't look as cool if you're not wearing armor.
And it's true. Like, that's one thing that I really like about Mythic, because I play all the other like Alliance and Nero, but Mythic, you guys can change rules and have it be affected. The other ones have like big national things, and it takes eternity, and it's just atrocious. So it's one of those like arrows where it's like, okay, arrows can be used safe, and if it's not safe, we can take it away and go, hey, this is ending. So you can make changes really quickly that make a lot of sense. Me and Marley get on long conversations about this kind of stuff because there's certain little things that make things better, like the disguise ability. In the other LARPs, you can't actually wear ears or makeup or anything else that makes you look anything like any other race. So like, as a human, where I'm like, I'm going to put on a cat hat, I can't put on a cat hat because it's disguising as something else. It's like a really crappy one. That's super lame. Having that capability of like, all right, let's work this out and let's try this out and kind of talk about the decision, because like, I will gladly let anyone get in my suit of armor and take like an actual battle axe in it, and you'll just ignore it. Candace has a video of her taking a battle axe to the back of the head and just kind of walks away from it.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
That helmet is.
Armor is amazing. Armor is amazing.
yeah, so like, Proceed with Caution says, I would like better benefits from physical armor. And then it says, Nevin says, my low level uses arcane because my main uses a full suit of leather armor. So he wants that break from it. And I kind of agree, because like, with Proceed with Caution or Crow, because Mythic has always said that they want people to wear armor because it increases the immersion and it looks cool. But then when they do, they don't really incentivize it as well as they should, I think.
Yeah.
And in fact,
it's so
I actually,
tiring.
it's tiring. And I got mad that my foam helmet lost me 2 hit points. Like, I got really, I'm like, dude, really? Like, I mean, I love Mythic, but like, there was a while there that I was super frustrated over that, because I was like, this should make up for one piece. Like, my arms are leather, my legs are leather, this is flipping steel.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Well, that's the cool thing. You guys have a council and can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because like, that is a huge way to get shit done.
Yeah, because we are a community game, and
Yeah.
we're all it's 100% volunteer. Like, everybody has a say, and we've even as staff, we've been trying to open up the discussion so that even the normal player base feels like they have a say, or at least can be heard in the decisions that we make about the game.
Oh yeah, because like, you as a a low level character, if I gave you an actual full suit of armor, and you don't really know how to fight, really don't know how to do it, but if you only took 1 damage from everything, you would have a lot of fun. You'd be really tired. You'd have a lot of fun just taking everything. Be like, yeah, this is actually fun. This is really tiring. And you can have someone who looks really cool from be a first level character have some benefits from wearing something really intense. Because as like an experienced LARPer, you get rid of armor as quick as you can. You go to arcane armor because like that 1 or 2 extra hits isn't really going to help you, because you're going to tire out a day and a half earlier.
So
like 1 hour
Jeff's
in.
character at Alliance,
Yeah.
the last month, he wore his metal breastplate.
Yeah.
He made himself a foam breastplate for yesterday's event because he was like, no, it's
no
not
more
worth
metal.
it. It doesn't give any extra benefit, so why would I go through the pain of wearing the metal when I can wear foam and it's so much lighter?
Yeah, like, so here we go. So Proceed with Caution says, especially with New Artifice, you can get just as good benefits wearing little to no armor as you get wearing full real armor. And then Mechanum says, no comment. And then Nevin says, as someone who uses real armor, I am disappointed to find out that there are players with arcane armor with almost the same HP total as me. And here we go. Mechanum, I have 24 as Zisto. He has more hit points than me with no armor on.
Yep.
I have
Same
21.
thing.
And that's with magical armor and a magical shield.
I have 19.
And I'm capped out. I'm not going any more than that.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
it makes a big change in the game, and like like it's amazing how much that little difference can make. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have a full suit of actual legit armor that looks amazing. I will never wear it in a LARP because I will LARP for 1 minute and done. Because you have to move faster in LARP. So like if I could tank everything and just be like, hey, you have like 200 hit points, I'm like, okay, I would wear it for that.
Well, and LARP,
I'm not gonna be fighting very well. but I'll
LARP
be
combat
tanking
goes
really well.
longer, I think, than real combat too, because everyone's lighter. They're not wielding a real weapon, so it's a lot lighter, and a lot of them are wearing arcane armor, so a lot of them have that stamina to fight a whole lot longer. I don't in this.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out.
Right to the defense guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's like, and I for a while there, I considered completely removing myself from front line and literally just standing back and defending people.
Yep.
And I still
That's what
haven't
I do,
determined
actually.
like. So,
And
but
the
yeah.
thing is like it balances itself out because like if you're in a full suit of armor, okay, and you're rocking around like for me, I weigh 420 pounds in my suit of armor. I'm not gonna catch any of you.
Yep.
You out of armor is gonna run circles around me. That's a big enough benefit because you're gonna hit me like 18 times before I hit you once.
I was impressed with Sonya this week. She's got leather armor on. She was all over the place running after people, and that one guy took off, and I'm like, see ya.
Is that the Gurdesky lady?
I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
not.
read with her all the time. Super fun.
There was that one time where it was just the one ghost left, and he starts taking off running, and they went after him, and I was like, fun. I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already slow because I'm fat, and I'm even
Exactly.
slower with my
Like,
armor on. I'm done.
I don't like letting the bad guys get away, so I will chase them until I see somebody else chasing them, and then I stop because it's tiring in full plate. Like this one thing, I was super excited to get my plate armor for Lita, and after wearing it for a while now, I'm like, what's my next foam set going to look like?
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
was so much easier to LARP in the foam armor, and for the one extra hit point for me, I'm like, it's not really worth one extra hit point to go through all of that.
So, but I agree with them. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is, and I still enjoy the game. Like
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
It's not game breaking for me. It's just an annoyance that if they address, I would love it.
Right.
I mean, and now that we're
Yeah, let's
talking
do
about
that.
it, I know some
That's
of them
why
listen.
I'm mentioning it because I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie.
Like I don't want them
I
to
have
think
a
that
large
like,
group of people
like,
that come LARP every
I don't
day
want them to
and
think like
super
we're crapping on the game because I love Mythic. I mean, and I wouldn't be doing this talk show if I didn't love
Oh,
Mythic
yeah.
because this is what this talk show is all about. But it is just kind of an annoyance that if there's a conversation started, I would love that conversation to be started. But
Yeah. There's a couple other conversations happening with staff right now, and I'm just kind of waiting for those ones to be resolved before I bring up something else.
yeah,
Well-
and go ahead.
Just what you guys are saying, thinking about my character concept, I won't wear armor. It doesn't make sense for my character. He wants to be able to move. He wants to be able to do his stuff, do his performance, even in battle situations. He won't wear armor, but the fact that I could take arcane armor and be almost as effective as somebody wearing plate mail or scale mail, it's just that does seem a little broken.
And
It's an even bigger motivator for me to never consider armor.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And
that's
that's
it's most LARP characters actually like.
And that's the thing is they want people to wear armor, but then, like you said, there's no motivation to do that. And to be fair, when people are looking at us fighting and they're kind of interested in LARP, people see me and they're like, "Dude, I want to know what they're doing because of what I'm wearing." Like, you know, I mean, I don't mean to sound cocky, but I am a draw for the game because of how good this looks.
Yep, correct. The
Yeah.
more you look better, the more everyone's
Yeah.
interested because you could be a movie that's going on. You could be something else that's going on. I've had a lot of people just come up and comment about things because of that. What's that?
Oh, okay. So proceed with caution is the new player emissary. Bring these concerns to me, and that's good to know.
Yeah.
I knew that someone was in the works, but
Yeah, him
it
and
wasn't-
Braden. We have two.
We
player
have two of them.
emissaries now.
Okay. I like
Perfect.
that. Nevis Gaming says, proceed with caution. Mythic is lacking in the bacon department. We need changes right now.
Yeah, you know, if
Big
there
bacon
was
fighters.
bacon in every event, that
We'd
might
get
be
more
motivation coming down from Logan. Just, no,
Yeah,
just
it would.
kidding. I don't want to say that because realistically, probably not. Every Wednesday, that'd be
Bacon Wednesday.
Yeah, Logan, I mean, I understand that's definitely quite
It's a little
drive,
far.
So.
And no, you can always. So I live in Syracuse, and I go down almost every event. And
That was
so,
kind of
Drive
cool.
that halfway. Yeah.
and I take a lot of people with me. And I have a
Well,
big car,
it's
so
less about the distance and more about the I have to work at 7 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough.
That would be difficult because we usually end around 10 or 11, or this week we ended at like 11:30. I
Oh
was
my gosh,
like,
no, like 11:30. People
Yeah, I
were
didn't know
still
that was the
role
time.
playing.
I just thought it was common. I'm like, all right,
No.
well, where are we going here?
no,
'Cause
they've
it's cold.
they've actually been doing better about ending on time. Like this
Yeah,
one
that's
was,
It was long.
long and
It
cold,
was a character
which
retirement,
made me
right?
surprised
Yeah,
they
it was.
went that long. Yeah, it was character retirement, so I think that was like the exception to the rule because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, make it special for him.
Yep, make it special, and they did, and it was fun for everybody. Even
I
me,
liked
like
it, it was
I don't know that character very much, but even me when I saw him, I was like,
Oh no.
I w-
I like that guy. I wanted to defend him and
I-
save his
I-
life and like,
No.
yeah,
yeah. I generally plan to lose a little sleep on Mythic event nights, and same with me. I always am going to lose sleep. In fact, this week I didn't realize how cold I was until I got home. Like my core was colder. Like I actually laid in bed and I touched myself, and I was like, "Whoa, my chest is freezing!" Like I thought I was insulated, but
Yeah.
apparently
Cold.
I was still cold. I was freezing, man.
Nikolai's at 11:30. We were talking about giving the bad guy to Mendax.
Yeah,
So King Mendax is like super evil, like super evil. He's a like super high level alchemist and does lots of evil things with his alchemy, and is like necromancer, and like he's the one guy, the one king of all of the different countries that people are like, so when are we gonna kill this guy?
So this is the guy that allows legal necromancy, right?
He's one of them. There's a couple of them.
what kingdom is he over?
I'm gonna get it legal.
No,
in all
don't.
lines.
Don't, because anytime you try and get in his good graces, he will just mind control you. Like you are no longer yourself anymore. You are now his.
Might control him first.
Not
good
gonna
luck.
happen.
You just gotta plan ahead. You just make this long, year-long plan to mind control this king.
talk
That'd be fantastic.
talk to Marley about him, because one of Marley's characters is his apprentice.
I think I might actually talk to him about this.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely don't go to the Weekenders. Weekenders are great because it's different pace, which is nice. You get a lot of relaxing, lots of talking, lots of fun, and it's a camping trip.
Yeah.
So
But if you can come to Winterfest, I think that would be a good intro too. Because Winterfest, like she said, is huge.
And it's a big feast. It's a lot of role play. And then after all the role play up front, that's usually when we get into the fighting, and then we fight for the next 2 days. But so like if you want to bring like your wife and kid to like the feast part and
Yeah.
enjoy that, and then even leave once the fighting starts, or let your wife and kid go home and stay for the fighting, and you don't have to come back for day 2 if you don't want to, like, because there's no place that you sleep over. It's you go home super late at night and come back early in the morning.
Yeah.
that I didn't know. My bad.
No, we didn't.
Just for Winterfest.
Just for Winterfest. Weekenders, you do sleep there.
Okay.
Like we are camping for Weekenders, so
Got it. I
that
thought
was
Winterfest was a
that was
weekend.
an
My bad.
accurate description for the Weekenders. We're camping there. We're eating there, like we
Yeah.
talked about last week. We're doing everything there.
Yep.
So,
And it's roughing it camping too. It's
so
not
proceed with
cozy
caution.
camping.
Says Mendax is more of a this NPC cannot be trifled with due to plot reasons, and then Metronome says do it. It's more fun.
I agree. Like, you become a legend when you do something that no one else would ever dare try. And
It's true.
then plot comes into you, like, we're retiring your character for you because you are now the big bad guy. Welcome to the plot team.
Yeah.
What?
Leaf.
Leaf?
So last
That's that
Winterfest.
guy in the blue, right?
No, you
No.
didn't see him.
He's retired.
Oh.
He's a demon now.
He's a demon now.
Awesome.
So he was a demon hunter. Like they
Oh,
call him
that's
Grey
good.
Hunters. Like he played his character for what, like 15 years,
I don't even know.
and like was like, I will do whatever it takes to kill all demons. And then so we went to face Deimos, the big head honcho demon, and
Of the Dream Realm.
of the dream
Nice.
realm, and
Nightmare Realm.
yeah,
I
Nightmare,
guess, technically.
Nightmare Realm. They are two different realms. And when we defeated him, he, instead of capturing his essence in this magical box, he absorbed it. and turned into
Yeah.
Deimos.
We don't know.
basically.
We don't know exactly what happened because him and one other dude got taken off to like an extra planar thing. All we know is that he left as Leaf and then came back as New Deimos and was like, "Get out!" and banished us all from his realm. And we were like, "What?
Fun times.
That was Winterfest.
Fun times.
That was the first night of Winterfest. So that was basically his character retirement. Was Winterfest, which
That was
pretty
the
cool.
first time Lita almost obliterated. Because I totally obliterated, but the demon brought me back together.
That was before you were bonded to me, right?
I like it when you're.
Yeah, it was shortly. It was after I died in the void the next week. That's when you bonded me. Was after that.
Stories. So you get a lot of fun stories. The best stories. And like the best part of LARP, in my opinion, is doing things. However mischievous and crafty you are, if you're willing to put the time and effort into it, the plot usually goes, I like you. Thanks for making my job easy and fun.
Yep.
And then they'll go with it. So like you can do some crazy stuff. I drugged an entire town once. They were doing a pig on a spit. And I snuck in, and I went to one of the plots. I'm like, I would like to spike the pig for this weekend event. And like the whole royal family was there, and they're just like, you're gonna die. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna die. But if I get it off, it'll be great. So I did like this whole long thing where plot literally like made guards that I had to go talk to, and I had to sneak past people. And like one plot member is like, this is so cool, I'm gonna have to do this. And they spent like 2 hours me just getting up to the pig safely so I can spike it. And then I had to basically cook the pig for them. I basically sat there as my character cooking the pig for them as I'm spiking it. And later that night there was like 80 people there, and I ended up spiking and drugging everyone in the entire town, and I robbed everyone blind. And I got lucky because I did not know this. The great thing about being a player, you don't know plot, so they have other fun things going on. Well, they had this jester, which was this big lich guy that likes to play jokes on people, who just happened to come and play a joke on the town. So when I knocked everyone out, I put so much in it that no one could resist it. Like they would have to pop like way more resist than they had, and I spent like a year's worth of money on it because we'll go big or go home. So I'm the only one standing up, and this lich is looking at me like, I didn't do this. Why are you still up? I'm like, oh, my bad. He's like, I like you. Here, come with me. I'm like, well, I'm going to loot everyone first. He's like, well, of course. I did that, and then me and him left town after that. And I became like his little helper, so every time I come in town, they just look at me and go, oh. Out of game, they all know that it was me that did it, because I literally went over. I'm like, I'm going to take your stuff, and your stuff, and your stuff. But because that guy came into town, they all blame it on him. So my
Because he
character
was the
totally
undead.
got away with it all. But out of
That's
game, everyone was
funny.
just like, oh, you scared me. Like, you're going to do some shenanigans stuff. And I'm like, that's what's fun about it, because, like, I was expecting to die. It's going to be fun. And you just go. Because worst case scenario, you make a new costume, you make a new character, and you can die, like, how many times in this? You get a...
Right,
Being
Junior on your character sheet.
Yeah, and you just keep going with it because it's fun. You're just like, hey, this is fun. Like, when can you ever do this and get away with it? Like, in D&D, your character dies. Okay, if you get super attached to it, you don't want it to die, and that's usually what most people do once they play the character for so long. Like, I actually really like this guy. I don't want him to die. But if you keep that in mind, where it's like everything is just exactly what you want it to be in a LARP, you can do anything in a LARP. And the more creative you get, when you go to plot, they love you for it. Love you for it.
Yep.
And sometimes you do crazy stuff, and then it's bad, and you take the repercussions of it. But if not, sometimes plot rewards you for shenanigans that you do. You're just like, okay, you're cool. You totally made friends with like this big vampire guy. Now you're a big vampire. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. True stories.
So you need to be the greatest bard.
That's all Alliance, right?
No, that was
Oh, no.
Nero.
Oh,
I've done
okay.
crazy stuff in all of them. I actually screwed with the national. So it was a national event.
plot.
National plot event. I actually ruined it.
Alliance.
It's so much worse than you think. My character died, and he was an orc, and he got mad and decided to burn the forest down. Well, because I didn't know what plot was doing with the forest, the bad guys were actually in the forest, and I actually ended up killing all of them. Well, national plotline, this particular forest is connected to all the other games, so this plotline actually affects everyone because everyone's plot is part of this. So I ended up burning the Druid Grove on like Earth Prime, basically, and burned all the Druid Groves in all of them. So my kill count in this Alliance game, because I got pissed because I died and I'm an orc and got vengeful, has like a murder count of like 180,000 druids, which is sad because he finds druids as like sacred. So the character's got problems. But yeah, you can do fun stuff like that. That gets even better because the plot came in afterwards, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this whole thing by myself. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm going back on this mod by myself, which normally people don't do. Mythic is great. Everyone's together. If you go out by yourself, people don't care and you die. I like playing mods by myself to have that challenge, so I went on a mod by myself and succeeded by myself, and it's so bad. I ended up I have a huge bounty on me. People will probably come into the game every once in a while, try to kill me. My chieftain died, straight up took a death because the town burned him alive. Because I went out of game. I'm just like, well, my character leaves because he's sad for 2 days. And I NPC'd for the rest of that because they told me, they're like, you screwed with my plot. We need to find out how to do this. He's like, come help me fix this. So I went on plot team and started helping him. Like, hey, what do we need? What do we do this? It was fantastic. Crazy shenanigans are the best.
That's awesome.
So Nevitz back to Leaf. He goes, and that's why Boji has been telling people not to trust Leaf for the past 5 years. Just saying.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Not a lot of people trust Leaf, and now everybody hates Leaf. And Lita's like, well, but guys, what if he didn't have another choice? You know, I'm like, what if the choice that he was given was to do this and take the control himself, or to capture the essence and someone else is eventually going to take control of it? And he just felt like he was the best person to handle the job.
He felt like he's preserving
Like,
it by
that's
taking
Lita's
it.
point of view. But I know I'm not going to convince
She's
anyone
playing
else
the
of that,
devil's
so.
You
advocate.
could try. You might succeed.
He's our next big bad guy we're going to be facing, because he's starting to screw with stuff now.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to play your bard, dude.
Yeah, it
Bards
should
are
be
so
fun.
much fun. And like Nikolai said, he will pay someone to follow him around and play and
I got a
narrate the
job.
story. Seriously, I do the same. Like, I don't, like, for me in LARP, money doesn't mean anything. Magic items don't mean anything. It's actually funner for me not to have them, unless they do weird random shenanigans. Like, you throw, like, a little pillow.
You would have liked Gypsy.
You throw it at
versus-
people and it sleeps. So they fall asleep, so you're like, I'm going to throw this nap pillow at you.
Nap pillow.
Yeah, that's what I call it. This is a nap pillow.
I had an item called the bedroll of the Sleepy Sleeper.
Yes.
And it did some cool stuff, but I could not resist like the first waylay or knockout. I had to take it because I wanted to go back to sleep. Like,
See, those are fun.
so
Um,
Boji's like, nah, it was on purpose when he talks about Leaf.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, as a bard, go around narrating stories, start making like fun of people. Do the brave Sir Robin, find someone that's really awkward, and do the brave Sir brave Sir Leah running away and dying all the time.
She doesn't run away, that's for sure. She
No,
She
I-
runs
dies.
at them.
I do.
All the
I
time.
charge, and then nobody
NPCs
follows.
No,
here.
but you could
Her,
make a joke about how she
everyone
always
else.
gives up her life essence to demons.
How is the
For the
town not
greater
killed
good.
you?
For the greater good.
No, I think the trick is to my first day. Just find the person who's most secluded, who's obviously trying not to,
To be
like
quiet.
being shy and trying not to be involved,
Oh, God,
and
who
go
was that?
narrate them.
Cat's character. She was the
Sitka?
quietest one.
Nameless. She was nameless.
Well, Sitka's pretty quiet too, though.
Yeah, she's.
the-
But
Depends
Sitka's
on
a
who she's
frontline
with.
fighter.
But that depends on who she's with because
So Nameless is retired.
Who doesn't like bacon?
Is the Lone Star's your character going to like bacon? I think that's a yes. I think
Who was that guy that gave me the weapon boon?
That was Barris's character. Forley.
Forley.
Forley. Narrow out that guy's life. That guy's hilarious.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
he would love you for it.
Forley
too.
is
He would pay
hilarious.
you like crazy.
I'll tell you that the universal
He will
truth
keep you safe.
about every character I've ever played in anything, and it will have to be true for this, is that he hates cats and he doesn't trust people who don't eat meat.
Well, then you won't like Rafton Hooker.
Oh my gosh. Rapton Hooker.
Yeah, right now I'm in a
Is that
game
cocaine?
with
Yep.
somebody who, it's a D&D game, with somebody who's I can't think of the name of the race now, the Tabaxi. And I set myself a limit that once he's done this many cat-like things, I just lose it and go off on him.
That's fine. Well, Rafton Hooker doesn't do cat-like things. He does
doesn't.
bunny-like things.
He's
He's
a
a
cat
cat
that
that
thinks he's a bunny.
He's fantastic. Cocaine.
If he's convincing, it might be okay.
I totally thought he was a bunny.
He's hilarious.
He acts like a bunny. As soon as anything happens, he runs.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep.
Nevitz let's see. So Mecherdom is the trick is just be funny. Nevitz says we will get along good then. And then he says, I won't kill you if you're funny and I will put up with a lot.
It's true. Funny people get away with a lot of stuff. Like,
That's how Forley gets away with everything.
so the Gradeskis, I didn't know anything about them other than like, oh yeah, a bunch of these characters are coming out of retirement. They're all like super big, and they all made their character to die. So some of them started making fun of me, and I started making fun of them back. And one of them threatened to kill me, and it was super funny because they're like, she threatened to kill you. She will kill you. I'm like, that's all right. You can try. I'm immune to assassinate. See? Oh, 4 seconds later. Oh, see, look at that. And I'm like, you can kill me. I'll just come back. You're just sending me to a better place. And I made her laugh so much through the whole night. She's just like, I like you. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I like you too.
I know, and so
She's
many
like-
people were like, wait, Sveta said she would kill you, and she didn't?
Yeah, it was funny. I'm just like, it's okay. It
Yeah,
just seems like a party play.
yeah, Nevin. So his character isn't a giant rabbit. Then I was confused with his new character. No, he's a Parthan who thinks he's a rabbit.
It's fantastic.
Actually on Wednesday, I'm like, I want to go up and ask him if he's like some failed Blizzard's experiment, but I feel that is
You can
not
totally
nice.
be that.
Like I feel like that is insensitive. That's what I said. So like I didn't go do it, but I'm like I want to ask him if he's a failed experiment or something because like why do we have a giant rabbit running around telling terrible time puns?
It's the best.
Yeah.
I love that mace, though.
It's nice.
It was one of my favorite builds ever.
Well, that is like as a bard, no one ever kills the bard. Like
Why bother?
NPCs won't even actually go attack you because you're playing music and they like it too. So they're just like, oh, okay. You could get weird stuff. Like I've seen some like fairies and like some fae, really powerful creatures come down and protect the bard because they're just like, I'm gonna give you every defensive spell in the game and you're gonna stand here and play this entire battle. And they'll just let you go to town and anyone touches them, they'll just destroy them, like obliterate. Boom, you're dead. Try again. Which is great. Everyone loves the bards. Unless you suck at it. Then everyone wants to kill you. Don't suck at it.
Because nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah, if you suck at playing the music, people will kill you. Like, it's just like, shut up.
Yeah, I like the
I
bard
want
that
to
we
play
have
that
right
bard
now.
now.
No.
That character would die really fast. Like, oh, man.
Cool. Well, do either one of you guys have any questions about Mythic or anything like that before we end up here?
I do, unless you want to end.
No, we're good.
We've got them-
Classes. Tell me about these classes. Everyone has a class. I don't know how you get these classes or how it works or what it gives you. Like, there's a lot.
There is a lot, and we're going to go into that a lot more in season 2. But basically, in order to get a class, you have to have at least 100 skill points. Like that's the threshold, and then you can start buying points in a class. There are a lot of classes, like more that we can go over right now. We've gone over a few of them in the past few episodes. We've gone over Berserker, and Warden, and Druid, and
Oh, you got a book.
yeah, we have a book that goes. So see, these are all the classes. There's a lot.
Only 90 pages.
Yeah.
Aegis, Arcane Bulwark, Assassin, Bard, Berserker, Black Knight, Capsarier, Dreadlord, Druid, Eldritch Soul, which is really cool, they just rewrote that one, Elementalist, Expert Adventurer, Grey Hunter, Infiltrator, Jack of all trades, Marksman, Master, Artisan, Monk, Ranger, Scoundrel, Scout, Shadow, Spellblade, Spiritualist, Swashbuckler, Theurge, Thug, Vault Breaker, Warden, War Master, White Knight, Witcher Warlock, Wizard.
Ooh, which one has no one ever been before?
Everyone's been.
Yeah,
some-
each of them have
they've
been
all had
played at
someone
some
be
point.
something. So, but basically, yeah. So here we go. So proceed with caution broke down that. So 100, 200, and 300, you can get a class by a new level, and then 500 and 700. So 5 total class levels, 3 in one and 2 in another. And then Nevitz is singing his character's theme song, My Love is like an ex-berserker. And then Mechadom says Warlock Pact for him.
Yeah.
Warlock Pack?
Warlock Pact. Yep, I think so.
Is that the class that they want me to be?
Yes.
Sounds like he thinks that would be
Sounds
good
like
for
a
you,
good one.
yes.
I'll have
So,
to read it.
yeah, so there's a lot.
Like a
And,
Dreadlord look
and in
cool.
season 2, we're going to go over a lot more of
Raven's
them.
second character is a witch, which is Warlock for the female.
And so
All right.
we'll
Sweet.
go over them. There's a lot to go over, but basically this is the Book of Heroes. Is that Book
Yeah,
of
Book
Heroes?
of
You can
Heroes.
read them all in there and all their abilities in there. So
Yep.
there are a lot of wardens right now, although not a lot of them play very often.
There's like 4, 5
yeah,
wardens.
so
Our only
So a
Theurge
Warlock
just retired.
Abyssal Pact.
Our only
apparently.
Theurge did just retire, so
No.
So yes, anytime someone says no, that's a
No.
hard yes.
Nevitz, oh god. Yeah, no.
time to slay my brother because I sang his song.
That's hilarious.
Apparently I didn't sing it right, but but that was me doing an impression of him, so maybe that's why, because he sings that song. He actually sang it Wednesday.
Yeah, so one thing also to consider with the classes is that you don't have to go all the way up to level 3 in the first class you pick.
No.
Okay.
So you can pick one class and do level 1 and then pick another class and do level 1. But at 100, 200, 300, 500, and 700 are when you get to pick another level. But you can only do 2 different classes. So you can get up to 3 in one and up to 2 in a second.
Nice.
Okay, so Proceed says you will need to come to terms with your character dying quickly if you go that route with the Abyssal Pact. And Nevitz just says yes. I'm assuming it's because I sang the song wrong. That's the yes. And then Mechrodon says no, Abyssal. I have something better in mind. So maybe maybe you need to get with him on if you're coming Wednesday. Are you going to be there Wednesday?
I'm coming Wednesday.
So maybe you guys need to get together Wednesday and discuss your character because it sounds like he has ideas for you.
Yes, me and Nikolai had a lot of fun. So yes, and I can go 2 classes. Why can't I just go Warlock, Abyssal,
Yes.
and then something else?
Yeah, so Wednesday is
can.
the open house. So there's no role play or combat or anything. It's just basically character creation, mingling.
Just hang
Oh,
out.
nice.
Out of character, just hang out, have some fun. So
Yep.
That'll be pretty good.
Oh,
too, to
and
meet
is
everyone
this
out again.
is
Oh.
this the open house where we're doing the raffle?
Yes, this is the open house with the raffle.
You're going to that, right?
Yeah, I will be there.
So
I don't know if I'll
Nevitz
have
says
any
no,
money to
that's
put in
not
the
why I
raffle,
said
but-
yes, but never mind. Sorry, sorry, Nevitz. There's a delay and I didn't know what you were referring to. I apologize. And then he said proceed with caution. Says this one will be our big raffle event. Yeah, like we were just talking about. So.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically you pay money for raffle tickets, and then they give away in-game benefits items, or like last year Raven won. She could ask Plot 3 questions, and they would choose one of them to answer for her. So she could
That's
ask
legit.
anything she wanted to,
Yeah.
and they would answer her both in-game and out-of-game, so that she would know that information.
That's legit.
Yeah, so stuff like that, and like I won $100 towards an order off of Dark Knight Armory.
Nice.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
I totally want to be the good demon, so I can use my guns as actual demon.
Yeah, proceed with caution says it'll be the best time to come talk to people about classes and character stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people who played a lot of different classes. Like she said, our only Theurge just retired.
Yeah, that was
So
Sabella.
that was Sabella. I don't think we have any others.
I don't think we have
thought
any
about it.
thugs. Do we have any?
I think the thug is cool just because, I'm a thug.
Yeah, the name of
Right.
it alone. I don't know that I've ever ran into a thug personally, but they might also keep their classes secret. So
We have a lot of war masters and wardens.
Is there a lot of
Couple white
metagaming?
knights.
So, for instance, like, am everyone going to try to kill my necromantic ass?
No.
Because
So
that'd be fun.
for the most part, people are pretty good about metagaming.
like they're gonna have to
There's a
actually
couple
see you
people-
in game.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
then
if they
prove it, right?
accidentally metagame, like I did with Raven the other day, because I totally swear I heard her say
Yeah,
werewolf,
no.
but that was probably just my brain knowing that and like inserting what it already knew. But so it's easy to be like, oh, yep, sorry, reverse that.
Okay.
I never said that. I don't actually know that thing. So people are pretty good about that. We've got a couple swashbucklers, right? Isn't Rin a swashbuckler?
Which one? Pirate Rin?
Pirate Rin.
I think Pirate Rin's a swashbuckler, yes.
Yeah. Spellblade, Shadow. Do we have any shadows? Is Straza a shadow? I know that.
I don't know what Straza is. I have
I know
no
that
idea
Dagger
what
was
he
a
is.
shadow.
We have a few
We
ages.
have a couple scouts.
No shadows currently in game,
No
says
shadows.
Crow.
Alright.
Let's see. We do have a thug or two at the in game at the moment. Nevitz says I want an item duration extension for my armor, hoping I get that in the raffle. Mechrodum says I have a great guy to talk to. The good demon. He says lol, the good demon. And then see, Oni was our last big shadow. I haven't had another since really.
Yeah, I have something for you, Shatu, too.
Apparently, everyone's
Sorry.
like, I get it now.
Yeah.
It's a good demon.
Okay, I'm bringing you in on a plot.
What? Oh, I'm becoming an NPC.
I'm bringing you in on a plot. I don't know if you're gonna. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
How cool would that be? The good demon. Everyone looks at you going,
And
"I'm
then,
gonna kill it."
so,
This is gonna be
The other thing to think of too is that some of these classes have paths tied with them. Like the Druid has the path of the Earthwalker, the White Knight has the code of the Lightwalker, and the
Black Knight.
Black Knight has the code of the Nightwalker, which are things you want to read and you have to follow.
You have to follow those or you lose your class.
lame.
Well,
And
and
that
the
could be
code of the
hard to
Lightwalker is extremely restricted.
And it is very in depth. It's
Yeah.
pages.
Oh,
The
that's
Earthwalker
powerful.
is pretty
to, like, balance
loose.
that though.
It gets a lot of role play. I don't know
It does.
that the
don't know
skills are necessarily
Yeah.
super powerful compared to the other classes. Pretty like decently powerful, but lots and lots of role play involved. Yeah.
Because anytime it's intensive like that, you should benefit. Like dark elves that have to wear so much makeup, they best have a good ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nevitz, in reference
our-
to the
Is
metagaming,
that what you- is there-
he says, that being said, if you come in the game looking like a demonic abyssal user, then you may get a few suspicious eyebrow raises.
I totally did. Everyone's like, "Okay, they move. You're fine." They're like, "They move, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, they move."
Yep.
Like, it's just a headband.
Just a headband
Yeah,
with
because your
horns on it.
horns. Yeah.
They glow in the dark, and I spent a lot of time on another character and never got to use them. So I'm like, I'm using them. I'm going to disguise myself as a fae, but I didn't have any glitter.
Yeah.
So
But now you don't have disguise, so.
that's true, which is fine because I won't need it for a while. I'll still wear the headband.
Let's see, I do miss racial benefits, penalties. I get why they got rid of it, but still miss them.
Yeah.
Boji assumed he was a fae. Yeah, so did I.
Everyone thought I was a fae too, and I said, I'm like, well, some days I am. Because that was my plan, was to do a disguise. I just didn't have any glitter.
Yeah.
So, and it's so cold anyway that it wouldn't stay. Like, I sweat a lot, so like glitter would just go, boy, and be gone.
Yeah. So. Okay. So that answers that question. You guys have any other questions?
That's basically it.
All right. So that'll be the end of this show. So we're gonna talk about a few things coming up. So first off, next week, season finale. I think we've got a little ad here for it. An evening with the Garadetskis. So far, I have at least 5 of them that I know are coming. One of them is a tentative. I haven't heard from a few of the other ones, so. But you say that, but I'm excited. Then they're actually excited. I know that there's a few things that they want to talk about, like they want
Is
to kind
Sabella gonna be in on that or no?
of. She's one of the ones that so far said yes. So, I'm gonna try to verify with them all today, though. So. Kill it with fire, yeah, that's my saying, but he's saying that for the Garadetskis. So
Yep.
you don't know that, but whenever I go into anyone's stream, I say kill it with fire. So that's why he's
Nice.
Confirm.
yeah. So lol. So I'm excited for that. They're excited for it. There's some things that I guess that they want to kind of like
Don't give
put out
away
in the
any
open.
secrets.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, so we're gonna have him. Mechernum's gonna be there. So I know that we're gonna have anyway. We've got 5 of them, I think for sure. I had to try to confirm with some more of them. So
Also, if any of your previous guests want to come in to sit in and be here for that, they're more than welcome to.
okay. So that'll be kind of like a free for all. Come sit in on the session and just
Come be an
watch.
audience.
Yeah, come be an audience member for it, either here or online. So that'd be great. We also need to talk about, we talked about it a little bit earlier, the Castle of Chaos. I think they're finally closed now.
Yeah.
Not finally, but I think they're closed now. But they were a great, they are a great, hold on. Yes, at noon is when the show will start, but I'm going to have them here a little bit earlier. So, but Castle has been a great partner for Mythic Realms. They let us use their building during the winter months so that we don't all freeze our butts off because we're all old now. We don't like the cold.
Yeah.
At least that's what they say. If you are coming to the gaming center, be here by 11:30. That's for the audience. I think for the Garadetskis, I want them here a little earlier so that we can do some of the. Yeah, I'll talk to them later about that. So, the Castle of Chaos. Their season just ended, but they do have their escape rooms that they've got. So that might be something to
really
look
cool.
into. For people who are interested in that, who don't necessarily that missed out on the haunt or something like that, there's some escape rooms that they do. And then we got to talk about, I'm excited. We got to talk about Ascendance Gaming Center that lets us do this talk show here. If it wasn't for Ascendance Gaming Center, this talk show would not be a thing. Because I just did not have the space for this at home, especially today with all these people. I would not be able to have done this. So we appreciate them. There's their website, Ascendance Gaming Center.
We have tournaments coming up. Next week is Beat Sabers on the VR on Saturday, and then the following weekend is going to be Hearthstone and a Hearthstone Fireside. So if you don't want to do the tournament and you play with Hearthstone, you just want to get the Fireside backs to the cards and the different things that has, come on in. We'll be here all day. And then the Saturday before Thanksgiving is our big Melee tournament, Smash Melee.
So I heard you say something about how you've got to practice for Beat Saber.
Yeah.
If you sign up for the tournament, you get free practice sessions.
Yeah.
I have a VR at home with Beat Saber on it, so I can practice.
I'm just saying for everybody else out there, that's kind of a nice incentive too. That you're going to get free sessions. Yeah, starting today.
If you come in today and say we heard this on the LARP Lounge, you can start your free
Coming
hour
in
today.
practice.
Yep, come in and practice. Get your VR Beat Saber practice in. And then I guess the last thing is that this episode, or all these episodes, are live every Sunday at noon Mountain Standard Time, but we get them up on podcast on Anchor FM every Wednesday and on YouTube every Wednesday. They're usually there around 10 a.m. That's not like a hard set in stone time. That's just like an average that's been happening. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Tune in next week for the Garadetskis evening with them. It'll be a lot of fun. Starts at noon on the show. Outlander says you do have to pay half entry fee up front to receive the free practice sessions.
Which is just $10.
Yeah, 10. That's the full entry fee, or $10 is the half.
20 is the full entry.
Okay, 20 is the full entry fee. That's good to know.
Yeah,
so
that's not much at all.
And doesn't some of that go into a prize pool?
Yeah, some of it goes to the venue and some of it goes into the prize pool, and then the top 4, I think, is how he's got it set up, breaks down and wins.
So, so yeah, tune
friends.
into that. So yeah, I think that's everything that we've covered.
There you go. 12 to the prize, 8 to the venue.
Last thing, I know that with the holidays coming, well, I guess I'll talk about this next week. So
No, go ahead and talk about this week, and then we reiterate it next week.
Yeah, so with the holidays coming up, Season 2 is not going to start until the beginning of the new year. I just think it's going to be too hard to get guests and correlate it with my co-host and with guests and everything like that. So I just think that it's, for November and December, we're just not going to have any episodes. There will be reruns on Twitch that you can always watch every Sunday from 12 till however long they run, which has been about 3 hours on all of them. So I apologize for that. Nothing new, but it's just going to be too hectic, I think, for trying to organize too many different people, like I said. So starting in January, we will start Season 2, which will go more into the classes. We are going to hopefully talk about backstories and their importance and how not to put yourself into a corner with your backstory, like make it so that you're stuck with one type of thing. And we're going to go into artificing in Season 2.
The mini game.
Yeah, because artificing is a whole new beast. I don't even know. We might do a few episodes on that because I know there's that much info.
Oh, yeah. I've been sat down and had it explained to me 3 or 4 times, and I'm still like just barely starting to understand the basics.
So proceed with caution, says holidays. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Mechardum says that the Garadetskis are going to be answering in and out of game questions. Proceed says holiday season is hard to plan things, and it is. It's going to be hard. And then he says artifice! Exclamation! Yeah. If you need to know anything about artifice, Crow, you're the one that I was hoping to have on the show for that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
In Season 2, are we going to try to touch with the other?
I think depends on how long season. I kind of want every season to be 10 episodes, and I kind of want Season 2 to stick with Mythic still, and then Season 3 we might hit Alliance. I don't know. We'll just have to see. It just depends on how long those things take to cover. Season 2 might be a shorter season, and then Season 3 will go into Alliance and start doing some interviews with some Alliance people, go over their rules, and kind of like we did with this, it'll be a repeat of all their rules and different stories and stuff like that too. So
I can also help you with Nero if you want. There is a Utah Nero chapter, but it's very
intense.
Yeah, it's a different kind of game. It's
Okay.
very
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, because I want
Very
to
fun.
showcase a lot of different ones that are here in Utah because there's different flavors for different people, and I want to showcase all of that. So, but anyway, I appreciate everyone for being here. I appreciate everyone with all the subs. Like I said, we should have the new emote coming up soon. I just have to wait for Twitch to approve it, and I put it in on Friday, so it's the weekend, so they're probably not even looking at
We
it.
did it yesterday.
Oh, yesterday's Saturday, so I put it in on the weekend, so I doubt they're even looking at it. So
Mine took like 2.5 weeks to approve.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, mine only took a couple days.
it
so.
depends. It varies.
yeah, so hopefully we'll see it. So anyway, thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate it. Talking, asking questions, making comments, and we'll see you all hopefully next week. Bye.